Welcome to the channel of PACIFIC414. Show us this loyalty. Throw yourself onto the subscribe button and submit yourself to the live streams, gaming streams, and so much more. Pathetic Earthlings, I command you.
Warning, due to adult language and humor, the following content may not be suitable for any viewers under the age of 18. Viewer discretion is strongly advised. The views and opinions expressed during the following live stream or video content are those of the individual and may not reflect those of others. Thank you.
Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, and welcome one and all to PACIFIC414 Pop Talk, this special edition Power Rangers 30 Morphenomenal Years. I am your host, Mike, and I am joined this afternoon by Jason Fox of 540 Studios, Jet Sparks 373, Apion, and the man with common sense, the Smoking Patriot. I will also be joined later on by Ryan from Legion Talk, Legion Games, and Legion Teaches History. Also, Steven Seagal. Fat Steven Seagal, that is. But, ladies and gentlemen, this edition of Pop Talk is dedicated to 30 more phenomenal years of the Mighty Morphin Power Rangers series, which began back in Japan as Super Sentai. Now, my knowledge of Power Rangers only goes up to episode 1 of the Zeo series. However, my panelists here have a lot more knowledge than I do when it comes to the franchise. That's why they are here. That's why they are my team of Rangers. So, I have a series of questions for each one of them, but first, before I even ask them the questions, first, how are you guys doing?
Doing pretty well. A little hangover, but I'm okay.
I'm absolutely ecstatic for this because I've been looking forward to this all weekend.
Partying in the Morphin Grid.
I'm
rip roaring and ready to go.
I said Jason was partying in the Morphin Grid.
Yes, I was. That was a big party. And then we did fight some monsters and stuff, and we were super drunk. We still won though.
So you got down with the Morphin Masters, maybe Zordon.
Of course we did. You should
got a little
trippy
drunk. In there, all them colors going on, everything.
Oh yeah.
Apion, how you doing today?
I'm good. How you guys doing? I'm doing well.
Good, brother. Good.
I'm ready.
I'm gonna turn you up a little bit because you are a little low, at least on my end.
Am I?
Yeah. So I'm going to go ahead and turn you up.
Let's see here. I've got my... let me go to the Streamlabs. Okay.
All right. I got you,
how about now? I put mine up to max there. Is it better now?
All right, brother, we can hear you.
Too loud?
No,
No, you're
Is it
good.
good?
You're,
Okay.
you're fine. You're fine, brother.
Yep,
sure.
you good.
Cool.
So, with this being the 30th anniversary of Power Rangers, I do have a question I want to ask you all. Before I do that, though, I do want to say hello to Derpy Entertainment, who says, "Go, go, Gucci's Rangers." And Derpy Entertainment says, "I respect the loyalty of Ranger B and Hanover Jason."
Oh boy.
Oh God.
So, again, with you guys pretty much being the authority of Power Rangers in this stream, more so than I want you all to explain to me and anyone who's watching right now, anybody who watches this in the future, the origins of Power Rangers. Who
Well,
would
I
like
can
to go
elaborate. I'll elaborate on it first. Power Rangers is derived from a series called Super Sentai, which was created by a man, I forgot his name, Soroto Ishinomori.
Yep.
And the first series created for Super Sentai was Himitsu Sentai Go
Sentai Go.
Ranger or
1975.
Yep, back in 1975. And again, for the last up to nearly over 40 years now, Super Sentai has graced screens in Japan for that long. It's gone on a lot longer than Power Rangers.
Oh yeah, they have a lot
Oh,
more
yeah.
stories, a lot more. It's like the news one they have at the moment is Dawn Brothers, and that's a series they can never adapt to American TV.
Yeah, the same thing goes. I think the newest one that came out this year was called King Oger. I think it's sort of like sort of like another thing with Medieval Knights, but I think the Rangers are more. I think they're more insect themed than anything else,
Yes,
which is
it's more of an insect theme. It is.
Beetleborgs.
not entirely. I mean, again. But same thing with Beetleborg. Beetleborg was created from Juko B Fighter, which is another tokusatsu property.
I definitely watched that and had toys of that too.
Yeah, I even had the McDonald's Beetle Bonder toy.
Yeah, but in the
Nice.
new season that will come this year, it looks amazing. The suits looks amazing in the newest one with the insects.
Yeah, they do look good. And also, again, we also have the same thing with on the Power Rangers side. We have Cosmic Fury coming out, but I think they're adapting certain things from the Super Sentai series Q Ranger, which was all themed around space and
The new one they're gonna use original footage instead.
Yeah, they're only gonna use just the Zord and monster. They're gonna use some of the monster costumes and Zord footage, but they're gonna have completely original footage themselves.
Yep. The suits doesn't look that great. Just gonna say that.
Yeah, they look. Yeah,
They're
I'm sorry,
bland.
but they do look. They look kind of generic in a way.
Yeah.
In fact, they look very generic.
They do.
I really didn't like how the suits looked in the Elizabeth Banks movie. That new
Iron
movie.
Man?
I really.
Yeah,
I
the
did
2017
not like
movie.
those
Yeah,
suits.
yeah, they really. Yeah, again, they were really going for the whole it was even more Chronicle-esque when I saw it. It seemed like they were trying to go for a more Chronicle vibe with muted colors and whatnot, making it a little more dreary, stuff like that. It just does not work.
Because we're talking about the origin, it's like I think it's so fun that he started it in 1975 and it still goes on, and that is just amazing to a franchise.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and again,
Yeah.
it's had its rough spots, and there were times where the viewership was very, very low. But it's ironic how
They still
some
went.
certain
They still went on.
yeah, it feels, and even with Power Rangers, it feels like it reaches a natural endpoint, and then it just keeps on going.
Yeah. I mean, well, I mean, because if you think about it, Power Rangers from the very first episode of Mighty Morphin all the way to the very last episode of In Space, that is essentially a four series arc. That's all. It's pretty much one continuous story of a split up between Mighty Morphin, Zeo, Turbo, and In Space. It's one long arc. I mean, Obviously, they made stuff after, but
yeah, and of course the Alien Rangers were just kind of squeezed in there a little bit. But I know it was like a test run for changing out the suits and costumes every year and monsters.
Yeah, and then there was the Newman Rider? Oh, what was his name in Mighty Morphin? He kind of had like a bug-like outfit. It was like something Rider.
Oh, that was Masked Rider.
The Masked Rider. Yeah, they had that like brief appearance.
Yeah, Kamen Rider, the episode of Friend in Need. And again, there's only been two Kamen Rider adaptations in America. We had that same one with that same character in Masked Rider, and he spun off into his own show, which I don't know how many episodes they produced for that show. But I think it's slightly disconnected from the larger Power Rangers universe. And again, you have another one that was created by Adness Entertainment, but still co-produced by the same company that made both Super Sentai and Kamen Rider, Toei Company, called Kamen Rider Dragon Knight in 2009. It had Matt Mullins. If you don't know who he is, he was like Johnny Cage in the in the Mortal Kombat Rebirth trailer. That was him.
And real quick, before you guys continue, I do want to welcome in our next guest. You can catch him every Friday on Legion Talk, but he also has another channel called Legion Teaches History and Legion Games. Please welcome Ryan.
How you doing? Thanks for having me.
Hey, brother.
What's up?
Hello.
What's up?
Welcome, brother.
Oh, another beautiful Sunday, right?
Always.
Yes, it is.
Yeah.
Another beautiful hangover Sunday.
Oh.
So, Ryan, right now we are discussing the origins of Power Rangers, and of course, during the course of this discussion, we will find out where everybody got into Power Rangers, what's your favorite series, favorite characters, your thoughts on the 4 movies, because this does include Once and Always.
Oof, that movie was rough.
I got my start on the original Mighty Morphin Power Rangers back in the early 90s. That is my favorite series by far. I think it's the more exceptional series. And as for the movies, I like them.
We are not there yet, man. We're still on the origins now.
Oh, okay.
It's all right. It's all right. It's all right. I keep
Fine.
things relaxed here, so it's like I told you
trying to
guys
make a joke,
backstage as we're going along. If we happen to get into an area where one of the questions fits, we can bring it up. And
Yeah. So no, I got my start on the original one, and I think that's the best by far.
Same.
Mighty Morphin will always be the best.
It will.
But looking back at me from the perspective of someone who's watched almost every series of Power Rangers, I would say, look, I've watched the reruns of the original show, and looking back at the original show, it's a product. I would say, it's a product of its time. It's a product of the 90s. But again, I was more in line with everything of the early 2000s, and I mean, I got into Power Rangers around Lightspeed Rescue, and Time Force is by far one of my favorites. Is one of my favorite series, and it's possibly something I literally got. It was literally get off the bus, go home, and watch Power Rangers. Even when there was like something that happened in my neighborhood that they actually had to like broadcast the news over Power Rangers. Like, hey, come on, go back to Power. And I don't want to hear about that. There's a active shooter problem in my neighborhood. I didn't really care. I was a kid who cared about watching my favorite superheroes.
Power Rangers was your escapism. Yeah.
Yes. Yep. As a 7-year-old kid, yes, I was the right age for this series.
well, let's go ahead and go into the next question I have. What's your Power Ranger series now, Ryan? You just mentioned that Mighty Morphin is yours.
Mm-hmm. Yes.
Yeah, my favorite.
What is it about? What is it about Mighty Morphin that you like as compared to every subsequent series that has come out after?
Oh man.
Everything.
Yeah. From
the music to the cheesiness to the
Seriousness?
the two guys in the suit battling each other, hitting each other and sparks fly off. Like it's just so over the top corny, but it's just like when
when it's based on Japanese culture, that's
Yes,
how
it
it
is.
is.
And I mean, again,
Yeah.
Tokusatsu. Yeah, we already know about Tokusatsu. I mean, Godzilla was basically the grandfather of all of that, and it led to shows like Ultraman, and then we got Super Sentai or Johnny Sacco, and then we had
And Power
Super
Rangers,
Sentai.
Spider-Man, basically.
Yes, but yeah, Power Rangers. No, Spider-Man was produced by. It was produced by Saban, and in association with Marvel. Yeah, it was. But I wouldn't really. Oh yeah. Oh wait, now I remember. Yeah, you had the Spider-Man
Yeah,
series. That again,
yeah.
it was like a
The
joint
Japanese,
venture. The
yeah.
joint venture between Toei and
The
Marvel.
Power
too.
Ranger Spider-Man, as we call him.
Yeah, and his big robot Leo
Yep.
Pardon. Yep.
Yep.
Too bad across the Spider-Verse, that whole three-way pointing at everybody thing. I think they literally just killed that meme.
Yeah, I mean,
I like
Yeah.
when they did it in No Way Home.
Yes, it was good, but yeah, they overdid that. They overdid that theme. It's just like you guys,
Yeah.
you literally just killed that meme in just one shot.
Yeah, but no, I agree with the Mighty Morphing, with everything that we just talked about there. I agree with that. It's one of my favorites too.
Vulcan
Yeah.
Skull.
Vulcan
Yeah.
Skull are classic.
Yeah.
I love their little theme music. They get this like
Mhm.
goofy clown music
Yeah.
whenever they're on screen. Yeah, super clown music. I love it.
Yep.
That actually annoyed me about Power Rangers Samurai is you had Skull and you had Bulk and then Skull's son.
Spike, yeah.
And, yeah, it was Spike, and it was they were trying to bring back that
Dynamic.
That dynamic. Well, it was just, but the whole show, like that was the first series that had the whole like more of a Go Power Rangers theme song in the opening credits.
Yeah, and they kept using that or variations of that song up to now, which I'm getting tired of. I know people always like saying they like Go Power Rangers, but when you hear it so many times in different variations of it, the only best alteration of that is like Zeo. That's the best alteration of it.
Yeah, I mean the newest of the ones is Beast Morphers. I like their opening theme probably the best since they started doing the whole Go Power Rangers theme again.
Yeah.
Beast Morphers is my favorite personally.
I think
go
that's
ahead, Ryan.
I think that's the point, though, is that you can't get away from the original, and that is the most famous. That's why they keep doing iterations of it.
Well, again, that's because Haim Saban bought the franchise back, and I know, sure, they kind of changed things up, and I know at least the ones from.
Well, you can't get away from nostalgia. See, and that's where movies and television are failing to this day. Is they're trying to change things so drastically without paying homage to the original, and it fails every time. So no, you're never going to get away from the original Mighty Morphin Power Rangers. If it wasn't for that corny show from the '90s, none of this would exist.
Yeah, I know. I do like the idea.
I can agree with that wholeheartedly because I'm a big Transformers fan. So any series that has a Transformer theme in there somewhere is paying homage all the way back to Generation 1. Just like the original Star Trek theme, whenever you hear it in the series, even a little part of it, it's still paying homage to the original. Foundation.
I know it is recognizable, but there have been so many amazing Power Ranger themes over the years. And I know the man who brought it all, Ron Wasserman, he has collaborated on other Power Ranger theme songs. I think the one most notable he's done was the SPD theme, and I think Dino Thunder. It kind of feels Wasserman-esque, but it was probably done by that. But purely SPD was done by Ron Wasserman. But there was a time where he actually did produce a theme song for Mystic Force, which honestly it sounds way better, but they didn't use it. They were going for more of a hip hop sounded theme for that for it. Yeah. And Operation Overlord, they were trying to go for a hip hop, and it just does not work. Yeah. But I still think one of the best themes of Power Rangers, hell, I think even then, like the most recent one, there have been like some demo themes or some sort of like fan made themes made by this channel called Nicholson D. One for Power Rangers Beast Rangers, it's called Mammal and Machine, and it sounds infinitely better than the theme song they went with, because it feels like a good rock it feels like a very good, even the instrumental itself is just has a lot of energy. Because I mean, you don't always need. I don't think you need to go. I mean, sure, you can probably put the word "go" in the theme somewhere. We don't need to use the "Go Power Rangers" all the time. That's what I just really believe in. It's just like there have been so many things, and like I said, one of my favorite seasons of Power Rangers has a really good instrument, has a really good like opening theme. Personally, in my opinion, at least a couple I do like.
Yeah.
Yeah.
My second favorite show is, of course, Mighty Morphin Power Rangers is on the first, and then of course I love CO, and I love the CO suits. I love the CO. It's
Mhm.
really nice. And my other
I s-
favorite is
yeah.
Dino Thunder. I really like Dino Thunder, and I really liked when they brought Tommy back and everything.
Yes,
I
I can
like the
agree.
whole. And my favorite character there also, I love Trent. Trent was just an amazing character. It kind of felt like Tommy all over again in a way.
It really felt like a good arc.
Yeah,
Yeah, again, I like it. Feels like a legacy. It feels like a legacy season without really being at like a milestone. And I mean, at that
yep,
point, that's where the series reached at least 500 episodes.
yep.
And I
Well,
will
that
say,
also leads into my next question. Since you guys have already mentioned a couple of your favorite characters, what are your favorite characters from the franchise?
Trent and Tommy, they are my two top favorite characters. Uh, then they will always be. And that is the whole arc with them, kind of being a bad guy, even though they are technically not bad guys, but they have like
Yeah.
this whole amazing arc of becoming good
Oh, please.
again. And
yeah,
become good, strong heroes,
yeah,
and the whole
exactly.
dynamic,
And I
especially with
agree.
Trent and his stepfather.
Yeah, Anton
That
Mercer, and also the
yeah,
revelation that he's Mesogog as well.
yeah, that whole plot line was just so amazing with Trent, and
Yes.
also it's just like this. My favorite suit of all time too is Trent's suit. It's like that. It's my favorite suit of all time.
The White Drago Ranger. Yeah,
Yes,
yeah, and I like that
Yeah.
it has a red visor instead of the black like all the
yeah.
other Rangers do.
And what I liked also with Dino Thunder is that they had a crossover episode, a little short crossover episode, where they showed the original Dino Thunder from Japan, the original Super
Oh
Sentai.
yes,
Yeah,
Lost in Translation.
they yeah,
That was a really good and fun episode.
yeah.
And again,
They show some homage and some, good
yeah,
stuff
a little
yeah,
homage to like Abba
Super
Ranger.
Sentai.
Yes,
Yes,
yeah,
and I
Abba
really like
Ranger.
that.
Yeah, but
I
like I
think
said, go ahead.
Go ahead,
uh,
Common.
so obviously Tommy, because he's just the GOAT, the OG. I'm gonna throw
Yep.
my second favorite though. This might take you all off guard. I like Rancic as a villain because
Oh damn!
Mm.
Oh,
Rancic
right there. I'm right,
Rancic
you
was
there.
a villain who, when you watched his backstory, when they did the episode where they covered his backstory, you actually felt pity for him. You weren't like, oh, he's this evil guy. It's no, he's a guy literally of the worst of worst circumstances happened to him in terms of how he was created.
Yeah,
He was
shunned
hated
by
and
all
scorned by everybody. So what did he
humanity.
do
Yes.
to try and get back at those who he hated? He created a criminal empire because he's like,
Yeah,
you all hate me. I'm going to create a criminal empire to take you all down as
yeah.
a form of revenge.
But that
And
was
then,
a really good storyline.
yeah, and
And
then
not to
it's-
mention, Vernon Wells' performance was just perfect. As he was
Oh, yeah,
perfectly cast.
best villain in Power Rangers, in my opinion. I know some people got their areas, but to me, he actually had a lot of depth to his character, and it wasn't just I'm a bad guy. There was actual reason, emotion. He was thought out.
Yeah,
Yeah,
no, I
when you
agree
know?
with that. Actually, I do.
Yeah,
actually
when you
agree
think
with
about
that.
it, he's one of the very few Power Ranger villains that's really motivated by racism in a way. But I know, and I know, I'm sorry, I think you kind of did skip me, but yeah, my two favorite, at least when it comes to talking about villains, when it comes to villains, I would say yes, Rancic is also one of them, but also two other ones are Mesogog from Dino Thunder,
Yep.
because of his sheer appearance, his mannerisms, the
Yep.
way he speaks, and the fact that he basically is almost like a darker version. He's basically the Jekyll to Anton Mercer's or like the Mr. Hyde to Anton
Yep.
Mercer's Dr. Jekyll. And of course, you got the main villain who did literally everything within before the very first episode, and accomplished everything that every villain before him had tried a whole season to do. The Vengeance Virus. He literally destroyed the entire planet except for Corinth. And again, he obviously no doubt he probably killed billions of people in the process. So yeah, the fact that it really felt sort of Mad Max and Terminator RPM give us a lot of Mad Max and Terminator vibes. Venjix truly was the GOAT, and I'm pretty sure he would have been if other villains throughout the Power Rangers universe really actually knew about this guy and all of his exploits, they would probably be groveling in fear of him because he did everything to just the Earth. When you could say of people like Lord Zed who have destroyed numerous planets, countless galaxies, and countless innocent people that he's destroyed or killed, Venjix did it to just one planet, our planet. The whole fight and whole battle was on us. So I could really say he is truly a very terrifying villain. Not to mention, not only did he destroy the planet, but he also actually imprisoned and implanted humans with cybernetic technology, and basically wanted to essentially try to make them into Terminators, and essentially make them make them infiltrators to destroy Korn from within. That is literally the most horrific thing. But moving on, talking about Rangers, I definitely say characters like Wes from Time Force and
A really good character.
I would say Jack from SPD has a bit of an arc. I mean, he kind of has that laid back attitude at first, but eventually he grows as a character and grows to try to be better. Because again, throughout SPD, I think all the Rangers were
and at
kind
the
of
end, he stops being a Ranger too.
Yeah, he just kind of turns up, and again, that's where I really want to say though. But also, again, we all know Tommy's the real GOAT, is also another GOAT of the franchise.
He will always be the face of Power Rangers.
Yeah, no matter what anybody says. But I still think Jason Font should kind of step up a little bit because, he essentially created the one thing that actually could really help in any future Power Ranger crossovers with the transportal devices they showed off in Ninja Steel. So yeah.
Well, and just a comment on what you were talking about with RPM. If you so just quick side question. It goes to what I'm saying. Has anyone seen Power Rangers Unworthy, the YouTube series?
I've remember seeing.
Never even heard of it.
I've seen the theme and it's great. I love the theme. I haven't really seen much, but it does look a whole lot interesting. I mean, I wish they did produce 4 episodes. They've only done like 4 episodes so far.
They've done 4 or 5 episodes. No, wait, hold on a second. 1, 2, 3, 4. I think they've done 4 or 5 episodes, and one of them was like a backstory episode to one of the characters.
Yeah. Oh yeah, and also I want to give a shout out to a character like Cam who was the Green Samurai Ranger from Ninja Storm. Actually, his entire arc to becoming a Ranger, that was really good, and it really tied in to the villain of the season, Lothar. That not only are the Rangers mentor Sensei Watanabe and Lothar, they're actually brothers, but they're twin brothers, and it also kind of makes sense because the actor who played them did double duty playing both characters. So, and again, God rest Grant McFarlane. He did a great job playing Lothar personally, even though he was slightly comedic, but his arc in that everything that kind of showed where he was as a person before he became evil was great, and it ties everything all together and ties it back to the Rangers themselves. So those are my favorite characters.
Okay.
Well, and the reason why I was bringing up, Power Rangers Unworthy is because if you really think about it, Power Rangers never really truly went dark. Like if you watch all of the things, they didn't really truly go dark in terms of a setting. RPM literally went into, like, every person's backstory had somebody close to them dying.
Yes.
People, a giant war being fought out there, and it's like
against machines and billions of people were lost.
Power Rangers RPM actually goes pretty dark in relation to any other of the seasons. If you really watch the show and you look at the grand setting, not just Corinth, but you look at a grand setting, it's a pretty darker series compared to all of them. And I think that's why I like our RPM. It's probably in my top 5.
Exactly, I'm right there with you on
that. The setting of it amps up the stakes. I mean, here, let me ask this: what are some of the movies or TV shows that we like where everything is on the line? This battle, this war, everything is on the line.
Falling Skies. That's actually
Falling
to me,
Skies.
That's a great
Star
show.
Wars, whatever. Because
Take Deep Space
stakes.
Nine in the Dominion War.
Yes.
Yep.
That's also another thing.
And that's why RPM, I think, is probably in my top 5, is because there's stakes to it. If Corinth falls, that's it. It's done.
Humanity's done for, extinct, or they're gonna be or whatever's left, they're gonna be taken over, or gonna be converted into machines, or basically cyborgs.
I mean, I'm actually curious. So, Mike, could I pose another question with your permission?
That's fine, brother.
Okay. If you have to go through all of the Power Ranger series for everyone, what is your least favorite? I'm talking the one that you'd rather swallow nails than watch this season. What is your worst Power Rangers? Out of curiosity.
Before you answer that, I think I have an appropriate video clip to play for everybody. So let me just get to it, and then you can answer that question.
Oh boy, I think I know what it is.
You probably know what it is, Come.
I probably do.
Because it's what I like to play a lot.
He said, "Today is a good day to die."
I'm not much of a track fan, but I still love that clip. I love that. I've even quoted a few.
That's a great 2-parter in DS9. That's The Way of the Warrior. Great 2-parter in DS9.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, but if you're gonna talk about like the worst Power Ranger season, or there's actually 2 of them I actually really do not like. One of that, but at least there was at least 1 or 2 bright spots from both these seasons: Mystic Force and Operation Overdrive. I do not like Mystic Force because, again, I really do not like fantasy. I hate fantasy. Wait, what is Derby saying here? If I go into battle with 6 Rangers, it will be Andros the Red Ranger, Jen the Pink Ranger, Katie, both Jen and Katie from Time Force, Sky from SPD, Zach and Tommy leading the team. As which Ranger? The White Ranger, the Green Ranger, the Dino Thunder Black Ranger? Because he's assumed so many powers, you just don't know what costume he's going to assume. Oh yeah, I can agree with that. Turbo is just ridiculous. It was way too ridiculous. But its Sentai counterpart, Car Ranger, it was meant to be comedic. So there was really nothing they could really do with that, but just try to somewhat. They try to
It's
somewhat
some
make
Japanese
it seem,
stuff. They are always
Yes.
going to be like that. That's the
Yeah.
thing.
Yeah. Turbo. Yeah, and this is a 2-way split. Like, I can't decide. I literally can't decide. Like, gun to my head, I can't decide. Literally, Wild Force and Turbo.
How so with Wild Force? I think it's a pretty decent season because I also
for
like
me, it's for the same reason that I don't like Captain Planet. It's just like it's environmentalism put into superhero. I don't like anything political or anything that could be construed as political messaging or champion or anything like that in my shows. Like, if I want to watch House of Cards, I'll watch House of Cards for that. But when I'm watching superheroes, fight bad guys, save the girl, massive megazords,
and
no
save the
political
world,
messaging.
yes, and save the universe.
And that's all Wild Force was about the environments being destroyed by pollution.
But I know, but I do like the premise that the orgs are essentially created, or monsters created from pollution. Essentially, I do like the concept of it, but it was really preachy. Especially the worst part was Kite, aka Animus, the ancient Megazord spirit from 3,000 years ago. That was the dumbest part of Wild Force. But overall, I mean, the best parts of it were Reinforcement from the Future and Forever Red. Those are the best parts of Wild Force. And if you're going to talk, and back to what I was saying about what I said, Mystic Force, I know I said I didn't like fantasy, but I did like the two-parter Stranger Within, where the Pink Ranger gets turned into a vampire by some Venus flytrap monster. And of course, you had the three-parter Dark Wish, where the villains get a hold of this the magical cat genie ally they had in the team, which again was stupid. And also, you have
fuck
Operation Overdrive.
RPM.
The only good thing from Operation Overdrive was the idea that the Red Ranger was actually an android. That was an okay twist. But everything else in that series was just no. It just did not
I liked
work.
everything up to SPD. Mystic Force is not the best, but it was okay. Not the best, but it was okay. Everything after that, I didn't like. I was like, everything there was just shit. Reminds me of the sequels all over.
Yeah, but personally, again, out of all the 7 seasons produced by Disney, only 5 of them were actually decent.
Wow, Disney actually produced 7 seasons?
Wait, Disney had something to do with the later seasons?
Here's where the timeline goes. Saban created it, and all the way up to Wild Force. I mean, Wild Force was like an odd sort of transitional period when the hands were being changed over to Disney. But from Ninja Storm up to RPM, those were all produced purely by Disney.
Which one had the environmental messaging in it?
Well,
that was Wild Force.
Technically,
Disney
it was Wild Force.
Disney had control?
Yeah, technically they did. It was still but yeah, it was sort of like a change. It was sort of like a transitional thing between.
Yeah, that makes sense. Sorry, I'm not a fan of Disney. I cover pop culture all the time, and Disney's
I know
nothing but a dumpster fire.
Yeah, Disney.
Yeah.
And again, Disney. They were embarrassed by Power Rangers after like a few years after they got it because all they're really good at doing is trying to appeal to young girls. Really, they hate. It seems like they hate the male demographic of trying to appeal to young boys.
The research that I've done, it seemed like Power Rangers was one of the things Disney never knew what to do with. They even tried putting the Rangers into Hollywood studios, and they couldn't figure out how to work them into the theme.
Exactly, they couldn't
because Power Rangers has always been full of female characters that are awesome. I don't understand that. How do you mess that up? Never mind. I'm not going to ask. It's Disney.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, again, they already had. That's the only reason why there always were, even in the original Sentai, there were always 1 or 2 female characters that a female audience could identify with. Any potential female viewers could identify with.
Did they do that reboot movie in like 2015?
17.
It was 17.
Was it 17? Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. And that they had a hand in that?
No.
I think that was this was back when Lionsgate.
Oh,
yeah, it was released by Lionsgate.
Yeah, that was Lionsgate that did it.
Saban pretty much got the franchise back because I think what prompted that was because they actually did a re-release of Mighty Morphin Power Rangers, but they did it with a bunch of weird comic effects and whatnot. And I think Saban saw it was like, you have had it now. I'm getting it back right now. And he said, Disney, here's this money. Give me Power Rangers back right now.
Yeah, I saw that movie, and
I'm here. Take it. We don't want it. Get it. It's yours.
I was good with the movie, so I was wondering.
What, the 2017?
Yeah, I was fine with that movie. I saw it in theaters. I liked it.
I had two. I had one real beef with it. Like in a Power Rangers, what's the one thing you want to see them do? Actually morph, not just stand around a glowing orb and something happens. Like the Megazord, okay, interesting concept. The Zords, it was a reimagining of the Zords. Didn't care as much. Like, okay, they look cool. Cool idea of Rita being the original 6th Ranger who was evil, kind of like a different take on the Tommy thing.
And Zordon being the original Red Ranger. Yeah, it was a good,
interesting concept. It was a different take. Yeah. But the one beef I had is that Jason says it's morphin time, then steps onto a platform around a giant glowing orb. Like, I'm sorry. No, I want to see you call out your stuff. I want to see some actual morphing sequence, not just...
and have a morpher. Yes.
Have an actual morpher.
That's the core concept of what it's all about. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, the one thing the 2017 movie got right that they've almost never explained in the series is when they got their power coins, they started noticing changes. They were faster, stronger. Their reflexes were enhanced. All these things, which makes sense because otherwise, how are you going to fight the the goon squads of the main enemy if
Or
you're
the main monsters, yeah.
Right. No, but I'm saying unmorphed. When you're not morphed, how are you still fighting putties? It makes sense if your speed is enhanced, your strength is enhanced, your reflexes are enhanced.
Yeah, exactly.
It makes more sense.
Yeah, and the more they actually wear the suits, I think the more their bodies like sort of slightly adapt to the power of the suit. So even at unmorph, they could slightly go up against the putties easily, because eventually, or any variation of foot soldiers, they're basically the cannon fodder for the villains. They're just basically the villains' cannon fodder. That's all they are.
Derpy, the thing is that fans have always nitpicked everything. That's why we're fans of it. And
exactly.
Quite frankly, since we're the ones shelling out the money, it's our right to do so. I mean, I mean, they've done it since the beginning of fandom started. Between Star Wars, did Han shoot first? I mean, this has been
I
can certainly say that because I watched season 3 of Picard and I had nitpicks.
Yep.
See, I didn't watch season 1 or 2 because I heard it was such a trash fire, and I watched season 3, and even though I have nitpicks, I did end up really enjoying it. It's about time we got a decent Star Trek. I don't like what they've done with it. I think it's Star Trek is kind of a lost property right now, like Star Wars.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
Yeah. Which I mean, and to Derpy, I'm just gonna say this, Derpy. This I don't know how often you I don't know you, so I'm just gonna. This is a very generalized statement. When you get a bunch of big fans, whether it's Battlestar Galactica, Star Wars, Star Trek, Doctor Who, Power Rangers, whatever, we nitpick the tiniest things. We'll see that triangle on the suit was 20 degrees off. That Megazord, he didn't fire his laser when he was supposed to. We will nitpick the tiniest things because that's just what fans, a true fan does. They nitpick and debate the tiniest things because they can.
Very, very true. Because how many times, Patriot, have we been here on Pop Talk where there's been an article and we completely go off that article because we're on some tangent about something that's just bugging us.
Yeah. I mean, we're not bagging on you, dude. We're not.
We're not. Yeah,
we're just. No. I think we're coming from the same place you are. It's just like you're kind of like, hey, that's a bad complaint. We're like, no, that's a valid complaint, and it's just like that's what fans do. We go back and forth with each other, and I think we'll continue to do that until the end of time, if you want my honest opinion. So, and I think that's what makes the love for the franchises even stronger is debating it, discussing it, and I also think it helps Hollywood be on their toes too, because Hollywood has gotten extremely lazy. And I think they need us to nitpick them a little bit, or we wouldn't have gotten Picard season 3, and it's vastly better than what it's been. And again, there are nitpicks. There are definitely nitpicks, but no, it was nice to see. It was nice to see everybody together again, and that's what they should have did in the sequel trilogy with the 3 main characters.
Preach it, hallelujah!
Yes,
hallelujah!
Because I do have a spoiler for Picard that I am going to bring up. I know this is Power Rangers, but Hilary Shepard Turner was on a couple of episodes of Deep Space Nine, so there's your Power Rangers Star Trek connection right there. But getting to Picard real quick, when I saw the 7 cast members, Michael Dorn, Jonathan Frakes, Marina Sirtis, Gaze McFadden, Patrick Stewart, Brent Spiner, LeVar Burton. When I saw them on the Enterprise D bridge again, it brought back so many memories.
Yeah, it was fun. And I, as somebody who's watched a lot of garbage lately, I can't tell you the last time I've really enjoyed a good show. So
and Derpy, here's the thing is that I saw the Power Rangers film in theaters 3 times. I bought the movie. And that's the thing is that I want a sequel to it. I want to see where are they gonna go. Do they bring in Lord Zed? Do they, because it's its own. Remember, Power Rangers is a multiverse. Ninja Steel really cemented that there's a multiverse out there. It actually made that canon and official. So this is just another universe in the multiverse of Power Rangers. And I wanted a sequel. Like I kept looking online for a year or two after the movie came out, looking for any information. Was there going to be a sequel? Because why? What was the after credits scene? They said Tommy Oliver with a green jacket. I want to see who they were going to cast as Tommy Oliver. Personally, I think it should be what's his face's son from Cobra Kai. Johnny Lawrence's son. I want to see him play Tommy the Green Ranger for Power Rangers. Personally, I think he could pull it off like amazing.
Like,
so that's the thing.
2017 Power Rangers movie. There are parts of it I like, parts of it I don't like.
Yeah, I mean, I don't hate on the movie. Like if I hate something, I will. You will often hear me say, and Mike, have I not said this before? I'd rather jump in front of a freight train than watch it again. Have I not said that before?
You have.
So, and you know what? I would jump in front of a freight train than ever watching again. Picard seasons 1 and 2. But I can't say that about 3. Picard season 3 was amazing. Have its quirks. Love it. Power Rangers is the same way. You ask anybody on this panel, we're going to nitpick and stuff about it. But at the end of the day, if we love a franchise, we're going to have... No franchise is perfect.
No, God, no.
I mean, name me one perfect franchise, and I'll name you 2 that ain't.
No, Star Trek had its problems even before current Trek.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
How much did that... Oh, that's why. That movie didn't make a lot of money at all. They lost money.
It really didn't. I mean, personally, I kind of thought it was kind of meh. Even then, they kind of made a Transformers joke even in the movie, like saying "Sorry, Bumblebee."
Yeah, and what's ironic now is that Hasbro owns Power Rangers.
Yes.
Yeah.
It further shows that they're not gonna make that movie because
you guys
are stripped.
There's a big Krispy Kreme commercial.
Oh yes. Hell, the honest trailer for it said they call it Krispy Kreme Power Rangers.
I mean, really, think about how many times they actually even say Krispy Kreme in the movie. Not just show it in the background.
God.
They constantly drop plugs. It's so terrible. Like
Krispy
Kreme. We're gonna have our showdown at the Krispy Kreme. Trademark. We're gonna have our showdown at the Krispy Kreme. Trademark. Like, good God.
Subliminal messaging. After the movie, where are you gonna go? Krispy Kreme.
Rita's like, we're gonna fight at the Krispy Kreme. You know the place.
Yeah,
and then what is she? Goldar's destroying the Krispy Kreme. What is she doing? She's sitting down eating Krispy Kreme.
Eating donuts, yes. While freaking Destiny Child Survivor is playing in the background.
It's like that is Transformers level shameless with product placements and stuff. Like where Mark Wahlberg was like drinking a Bud Light or something, and it's like they made sure it's like, look at this refreshing Bud Light. It's like.
Yeah.
Gotta sell these products.
That's like the Truman Show.
Oh, I know. I remember when movies and television were that bad. Around every corner was like a product placement. It was so terrible.
It was. I mean, the thing is when it comes to the reason why I think a lot of people are there's a lot more division. Because here's the thing: the Power Rangers, the very first one, Mighty Morphin Power Rangers, the movie. I think we can all agree.
I like that movie.
It's non-canonical. It's canonical. It's non. It doesn't fit within canon because it actually, in terms of how they got their ninja powers, it's completely different in the TV series. So it's like literally its own thing.
Yeah.
And
we all can admit
that. Doing my research, not only were they filming the movie at the same time, but they were also filming the series at the same time.
Yes.
Yeah, that must have been grueling for all of them involved.
Especially, have you heard the interviews about them wearing the suits for the movie? What they said about them?
Mm-mm.
Their suits were solid. Were pretty much solid rubber. It was so hot because the suits were so full of latex and rubber. It just bottled in the heat. And when you're in these suits for hours and hours, when they would take it off, they're like, "Oh, sweet Jesus, thank you for that I can breathe."
Yeah,
because it was so hot and stuffy.
Yeah, and the end of the movie is like in a tropical jungle too, or something.
Yeah, same thing. Yeah, same thing. I feel bad for the suit actors. Yeah, the actors who had to do all the acrobatic and fight choreography with the suits.
I know, right? I mean, but that's the thing. We all can admit, Power Rangers the movie, it's very cheesy, and the CG is not good and all that. But you know what? I'll still watch it. Sit down with a bucket of popcorn and watch it any day.
Yeah, exactly.
It's
I have it on DVD, and the thing is, it actually that movie came out literally a year before, or like a few months before the PlayStation came out. So the CGI looked good enough for an early PS1 title, at least. That's wild.
Yeah. I mean, but that's the thing. I think we all can admit is that we will never be truly happy when it comes to fandom because we're imperfect people who are making a product that is not perfect. There's always going to be something to nitpick, but I think we all, who here on this panel would love to see another Power Rangers movie, but done with an actual more Power Rangers feel and not feeling kind of like it's out of a teen drama like Vampire Diaries.
Yeah, and
I would like
2017 felt like it was trying to be the Breakfast Club, but with Power Rangers.
Yeah.
I mean, because you get Kim, she's in her bra and underwear doing dives into the water, and Jason's like a creeper in the woods, just watching her. She's in her bra and underwear diving into the water.
Tommy was Kim's girl. That was the obvious thing. I know. I kind of got into a debate about it when I was like with Astro a week ago about when we were doing a review for Once and Always. Yeah, that whole thing about Kat and Tommy being together, he says he doesn't believe that shit. I mean, but even though that is canon, that Tommy's son is that Kat and him are married, and their son is their child.
I mean, when Tommy first shows up in Mighty Morphin, like Kimberly is obsessed with him. Like she completely forgets about the Red Ranger, and she's just like super focused on him. I need to know more about him. I want to know what he's up to.
I never saw Kim and Jason being romantically involved. I never saw them.
She broke up with him in the series.
Mm-hmm.
No, I'm talking about him, like Kim being romantic, having some romantic feelings for Jason. I never saw that at all. Or I just saw them as just just very good friends. That's all I saw. I just saw them as just good friends.
But they made it was an interesting love triangle for Kimberly between him and the fight. Like it was added to like that rivalry between Tommy and the Red Ranger.
Yeah.
And real quick,
really?
I just want to say hello to.
I thought so.
Real quick, I just want to say hello to Lorenzo Sleestak. Hello, Lorenzo. He says liked and shared. Thank you very much, brother.
Nice. Okay.
But yeah, like Kimberly and the Red Ranger, they show up in the movie. Like I thought that was a crazy surprise when I first saw that as a kid. Like when the original Pink and Red showed up and they were like mind controlled.
In Turbo, a Power Rangers movie. Yeah.
I was shocked when they showed up. I was like, oh shoot.
Yeah, what were they doing? What were they doing there? I mean, I know they said they were going back to try to surprise everybody. I know when we last saw Kim, she was gonna leave the show, but at least she had an arc when she left the show. And of course, we all know Jason did, like Austin St. John, Walter Jones, and Tui Trang. They basically quit the show because of pay dispute.
Yeah, that sucks.
Yeah.
Gotta pay your actors, man.
Yeah, but I mean the Johnny Young Bosch who played Adam. I mean he was great in the series too. So it sucks Zach left, but when Adam took over, he really developed into a great character.
Yeah, and speaking of Johnny Young Bosch, he's gone on to have a pretty good voice acting career.
Exactly.
Yeah. And he's even made a reoccurrence in Operation Overdrive.
Yeah, he led that team. I mean, sure, it was one, but I mean, the only thing is it was made up of members of each of the 4 previous seasons at the time. You had Xander from Mystic Force, you had Kira from Dino Thunder, Tori from Ninja Storm, and Bridge from SPD, who is now the red SPD Ranger. But again, Bridge was basically literally the funniest character, was the best character next to Jack on the show. But he was just so fun. He was just so much fun. That's all I could say about Bridge's character. Especially when he always says everything is so buttery. Buttery.
Yeah, that's right. He liked his buttery toast.
Hey, he's not. Hey, I'm not wrong. You make it in the oven. You can get toast to make it like that. If you put it in the oven, it's great. So
all I can think of is Ed and Eddie when I hear that now.
What's a
Because who
toast?
was it that loved their buttery toast? I can't remember which one of the Eds, but one of them loved
Ed.
buttery toast.
The one, Ed, who was the big dumb one.
Yeah, he loved buttery toast. I'm sorry. I can't help it in SPD. When I'm watching SPD, all I have is Ed, Ed, and Eddie playing in my head. I can't help it, okay?
He's a woodpecker except with dirt.
Yeah, I mean, the thing about Power Rangers is that we've gotten the first movie was like the big blockbuster thing that really put it out to the masses. Power Rangers Turbo, I don't actually remember that movie ever making it to theaters. It might have. I just don't remember it. I was still a kid.
It was theatrical, and yeah, they released it on VHS. I'm pretty sure most people rented it on home video mostly.
Yeah,
back in the days when you could still do that on video.
Oh, I
on
remember
VHS
it as a
tape.
kid. Yeah,
Yeah,
I saw that on
VHS.
HBO one time.
Oh,
Yeah,
definitely,
HBO
and the
put
original
on.
movie.
Mm-hmm. And then 2017 again. I think the reason why 2017 has a very much a either love or hate thing, and there's not a really whole lot of middle ground, is because it was.
I know, I saw that. I was trying to keep the laughter to a minimum.
Lorenzo, you trying to kill me here, man?
Hey, what do that? You ain't trying to kill me?
Oh, Lord have mercy. But the reason why I think the 2017 has a lot of love and hate, either a lot of love or hate, and feel free for anybody to correct me if I'm wrong on this, but they kind of sold it as a reboot. So a lot of people were expecting a lot of the original Mighty Morphin feel to be in there. Maybe updated stuff, maybe a different story, but they expected it to have very much that same feel that they all grew up on, because that's how it was sold to the fans.
Mm-hmm.
But we really didn't get that. We have,
Yep.
you know, we have.
Also, for a Mighty Morphin Power Rangers movie, the budget was way too high. $100 million is too much. It should have been no more than $60 million, because it lost about $70 million. So the budget is about $100 million. You have to think for advertising and stuff like that. You're probably looking at $230 million for everything, and it only made $142 million. Like, you kind of shot yourself in the foot.
Yeah, and it's still ironic that now that we even got shows that have like budgets that big, and they still screw it up somehow.
Lord, sorry, Rings of Power.
Yep. I never.
What about the budget for The Mandalorian or any of the Disney Plus Star Wars series?
They've been very, very mum about budgets. So like I don't even think we have a budget yet for the Marvels, and I'm anxiously awaiting that, because that movie is going to flop hard.
Mm-hmm.
Because Dune comes out before it. So Dune comes out the week before the Marvels, and then the new Hunger Games movie comes out a week after.
Yeah,
and they're making another one.
They're making the prequel book, but it actually looks pretty good.
Yeah.
But the thing is, though, is that the Hunger Games is in good standing with fans. So no, the Marvels is going to be in a lot of trouble.
Yeah. I mean, I think a big problem is that when you look at 2017, they tried to come up, and I give them full credit for trying to do something new in Power Rangers. I mean, that's kind of the biggest problem, is what new can you do? I mean, you can only do dinosaurs so many times. You can only do space stuff so many times. There's only so many things you can do over and over again before people are like, okay, we get it, dinosaurs. Yes. Okay, we get it.
I'm one of them. I'm getting tired of them using dinosaurs so many times.
So, but I think with 2017, but I think with 2017, this is and this is not just me. This is the gripe I heard from a lot of other people, is that it felt too much like a WB teeny bopper drama.
Oh yeah,
mixed with Power Rangers. And the problem is that Power Rangers has always been kind of cheesy and corny. You can either go super serious or super cheesy, kind of corny, but you can't mix the two. Power Rangers, unfortunately, it's either or. You can't mix them, because then you get this weird thing. And
I would agree with that.
That's what a lot of complaints I heard. And I heard this in the theater. People who were Power Rangers fans and weren't Power Rangers fans are like, this just felt like Power Rangers mixed with like a teen drama. And I get where they're coming from, because it's you get Power Rangers Unworthy or Power Rangers RPM. You get those where it's dark and gritty and whatnot, and then you get the wittier, comical side of Power Rangers. Unfortunately, we didn't get either one. We got this weird hybrid.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that's where 2017 fell short. 2017 had so much potential. So much. But
I wanted to give it a shot, but they changed too much for my taste.
Rock Golem putties.
Yeah, it was too. Yeah, it was just mad to me. But I know they really just trying to go more chronicle is what I was getting from it.
Well, I think it's also that it's a weird crossover that today kids don't really give a crap about this stuff. They're more invested in their iPhone and their iPads than they are watching, a show probably like Power Rangers.
Yep.
So what you needed to do was actually, you probably should have tried to hook their parents instead who watched the originals. And then, of course, they take their younger kids to it, and maybe the kids sit still long enough to actually maybe enjoy it. And it was this weird. It was. They changed too much to pull in probably the hardcore fans. And me being a hardcore fan of the original, I sat through it because I was like, I'm going to go watch it. But yeah, it was fine. I didn't hate it, but it wasn't the greatest. It wasn't. And I agree. It needed to be either or, and it was neither.
And they had Bryan Cranston as Zordon. You had Bill Hader as Alpha, and they didn't do anything with them.
The thing about Cranston is that he actually got part of his acting start in Power Rangers by voicing a few characters.
Yeah, voicing a monster character. Yeah.
I didn't know that. That's cool.
Mm-hmm.
Yep. And then going from 2017 to Once and Always, I feel like Netflix did it right. They made, which was basically like a two-parter episode combined into one giant.
That's what it felt like. Yeah.
Episode.
Yeah,
it wasn't a movie. I don't consider it a movie because it's only an hour long.
Yeah, it's a special.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it's a special.
It totally felt like two episodes, like part A, part B, like a two-parter with like the Green with Evil type series type thing.
Yes. Yeah.
Yeah.
That was a multi-parter though.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it was 5 parts, but no, yeah, it was one of those things that it's they were trying to set it up and they did it in a way that was nostalgic. It was also goofy and campy, but that's what the original Mighty Morphin Power Rangers was goofy and campy, and so that's the audience you were trying to pull in. And I love, even though the budget was like super low, I thought instead of like CGI's, a CGI Megazord, they should have had the guy in the suit again.
Mm-hmm.
That was one of my nitpicks. I still highly enjoyed it, even though yes, it was very goofy and campy.
The fights with the putties were great. Some great choreography. We got like the original putty look. I didn't like Robo Rita though. Her big ass head. She looked like a Chuck E. Cheese character.
Yeah, exactly.
Chuck E. Cheese ass characters that walks around and like, hey, it's your birthday.
I
like the putties.
Creepy Madonna lady. Get away from me, creepy Madonna lady.
Yeah.
I like the look of the other two villains, like the Minotaur guy and
the Robo
they looked good.
and Robo Minotaur.
Yeah.
They were good Power Ranger villains. Like it brought back the nostalgia to like the old school days with those.
And what I liked about it too was the fact that I think it's Barbara Goodson.
Barbara Goodson. Yeah.
But after all these years, still being able to pull off the Rita Repulsa voice, considering what that does to the vocal cords.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
So that made me like Rita. Like I didn't like how like Robo Rita looked, but having the voice, I'm like, okay. And she pretty much has the overall. Yeah, she pretty much has the Rita. Yeah.
Yeah, because we already know from In Space, like Rita and Zed were purified by the Z Wave. They were purified by it. But all of her evil energy was scattered across the universe, and Billy tried to consolidate that in hopes of trying to bring Zordon, hoping to bring Zordon back, but it ended up being Rita.
I laughed my ass off though when they called it a space dumpster.
Yeah, again, it's a
space dumpster.
It's a trash can. It's not. It's like a bin or a barrel. It's a trash.
What do we call it? I don't know. Sci-fi space dumpster. I don't know.
Although-
but it's made of stone. It's like a stone. It's like a stone trash can.
Yeah.
Yeah, although the one thing that I love that they did, because this is actually canon, but we've never actually seen this, is when so in canon, so for those who do not know, in canon, Kat, who took over for Kimberly as Pink Ranger, she married Tommy and they had a kid together and they lived together, but they were still Rangers at the same time. They actually made that canon in this because Kat, when she goes and she's looking at all the Rangers and the little thing, and she goes and says Tommy, and she goes up wanting to grab Tommy. No other Ranger does she do this towards. Why? Because Kat and Tommy were married and they had a kid together.
And like I said, Astro, and I got into an argument about that because he still believes Kimberly and Tommy were meant to be the one true pair. But I already told him that it's been canon. Hell, even the comic Soul of the Dragon solidified this. And even JJ even becomes a Ranger in the future too. So, but he doesn't. But he's not. But he wasn't But I know Astro wasn't having it. So shout out to Astro 93. Shout out to him.
Yeah, and also let's not forget this is actually Ranger history in the making, because Kat never took on the pterodactyl. She when she took over for Kim, it was Ninja Crane. Kimberly already assumed the crane and not the pterodactyl. So when she says pterodactyl, that's actually history right there you're seeing, because she never assumed the pterodactyl dino powers. It was the crane ninja powers.
And they were essentially proxy power coins. And I know they also made the joke about too much peak energy is a dangerous joke. They joke about that whole thing. Yeah. But I do like the idea that Rita's power infected Alpha 8, which I thought it was Alpha 7, but it affected and basically created Robo Rita.
Yeah.
But I actually thought it was because since Lord Zed came back in Dino Fury, I figured that but this was by order of Lord Zed. He told me make me back Rita Scrozzle, and Scrozzle's that guy who created all the Robotrons from Beast Morphers, and he kind of shows up back in Dino Fury. He escaped to the RPM dimension, but the Corinth Guard captured him and brought him back to Grid Battle Force, and he's been imprisoned in a cell. But I think Lord Zed broke him out. So
Lord Zed's
figured
really cool. Love that character.
And I'm glad
Love his look.
Yeah, they did. I can't wait to see where they're gonna go with Lord Zed in Cosmic Fury, which is gonna be interesting.
He's like some sort of Spawn character that made it into Power Rangers. It's amazing.
Yeah, but it's alright. Hell, the comics they made. I mean, I know I haven't really read any of them, but I found out that the reason why Lord Zed is the way he is, he actually is he's an Eltarian, just like Zordon, and not to mention he was Zordon's mentor. Holy crap! That really brings a lot of things full circle.
It does.
Yep. The one thing I wish that we could actually get on we could actually get in canon on film, not just in comics or in video games, is Lord Draken.
Yes. The Shattered Grid,
I want to
Shattered Grid arc is really good.
I want to see the Shattered Grid arc actually played out in an actual TV series or in a full-length feature, because you could do the Shattered Grid arc in a full-length feature. Do a 2-hour movie, you could do it.
Or you could do a motion comic like what that one studio did for Halo, I think.
Yeah, but just do something, because so for those of you who do not know who Lord Draken is, essentially in another timeline, Tommy embraced the power of the Green Ranger, and they couldn't defeat him. The evil. So what happened is Zordon created the white power, like he did in the show. However, the difference is that Jason was going to assume the powers of the white tiger, but what happened is that in that power transfer moment, Tommy jumped in, killed Jason, and absorbed those powers. So now he has the powers of the Dragon Zord and the White Tiger in a hybrid combination. So he has two Ranger powers into one, making him pretty much unstoppable. So he defeats the Mighty Morphin, and then he eventually ends up gaining the power to travel into other dimensions. And he essentially wants to conquer the multiverse and it's all about him conquering the multiverse and how individual Rangers and parts of Ranger teams have to all unite as a resistance movement to stop Lord Draken. Essentially, it's a phenomenal story arc if you ever read it, or
Sounds good.
or the Shattered Grid game, the fighting game that you can get on
the
console.
Battle for the Grid, yeah.
Battle for the Grid. It's essentially the Shattered Grid story arc. That is essentially. I mean, you put that into a full length feature, or do like honestly, if you put it on HBO, if you get the right director and the budget that HBO brings out, I think you could do Shattered Grid in phenomenal fashion.
Patriot, you are excellent.
Hey, I'm just a huge fan, and I have a lot of ideas. So,
yeah, we fans can come up with better ideas. Again, you should take notes, and not the thing we're saying. Okay, we'll take notes, and we'll find a way to ruin it even further. Because we'll take the outbound flight. Yeah, we'll find a way to make it more updated for a modern audience that doesn't include you because you're not wanted.
Nowadays it'd be like, are you a fan of the source material, what it came from? Yes. Okay, we don't want you. We need someone who doesn't know anything.
Mm-hmm. It's
Find me someone
always
who doesn't
we
know.
hate you.
Yeah. So terrible.
It's like, why do you hate us? It's like, because you're going to nitpick everything we do, and we want to change everything for our own opinions. And it's like, yeah, okay. Mm-hmm. So no, that's one of the reasons I really liked Once and Always, because Netflix has a bad habit of kind of pulling some shenanigans every once in a while. I.e., look at The Witcher, and I was worried about it. I was honestly worried about it, and it was executed very well.
Where's The Witcher in the poster?
No, I know, right?
Where's Waldo? He's like, where's Waldo? He's like hiding in the back behind Yennefer and everybody. It's like, oh my god, he's the main character. You can see his eye. So pathetic.
He's like peeking out. He's like, hey guys.
Yeah. Hey, remember me? I'm still here.
So here, guys, haven't gotten anywhere. Not yet.
Yeah, it's ridiculous. Netflix has stumbled a bunch, but Cobra Kai is good. Like I give Netflix credit for having that. That's like their best thing right now. And Stranger Things, I guess.
They're leaving on a high note too. They're going to do the one last season, and it's going to be it.
What's up? Yep. No, I'm not a big fan. I've never been a fan.
World Martial Arts Tournament.
I've never been a big fan of like freaking Tim Burton's work, but I know I probably bet my sister likes that show Wednesday.
Tim Burton,
that was pretty good. It had some issues. It had some intersectional feminism, but I really like Jenna Ortega's the way she did it. She made the whole show phenomenal.
Yeah.
Yeah, she was fucking incredible. Excuse my language, sorry.
Yeah, she did. She did a great job embodying the character of Wednesday Addams. Yeah, she did.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean,
but did Wednesday always have like some sort of supernatural powers or something, or just their family were just weird?
They members of the family have always had kind of a supernatural essence to them. Yes. So
what was Wednesday able to do again in the show? I don't really know.
She got these visions. It's been a while since I watched it. She got visions, right? She had like these weird visions or something like that, and see through, kind of be able to tell the future a little bit. And that's how she was trying to stop the monster at the school.
And then the hand was like her sidekick.
Yeah, Thing was basically like her sidekick.
Yeah, no, Thing was awesome in it. And, it wasn't super over the top with a lot of nonsense, and she wasn't like super girl boss. It was a really good show. I do recommend watching it. As I said, it did have a couple of issues, but no, all in all, I thought it was good.
All right, I have my Netflix subscription currently activated, so I could watch Once and Always, and I'll check out Wednesday.
Yeah, I definitely checked them both out, but no, Once and Always, I wasn't sure about, but they did a really good job. I really enjoyed it, and I'm not going to say it's the best thing. Like on nostalgia basis, I'd give it a 10 out of 10. But if I had to legitimately rank it, I probably give it like a 6.5
because it's got some roughness to it.
It's got some roughness to it.
Some of that dialogue is pretty poorly written, and
and of course you gotta have some modern stuff in there to make all the people who obviously are
but
all about
even that one scene that was in there, it doesn't take away from the whole
Yeah,
experience
at least,
of watching the
but
special.
yeah,
Zach
because I'm
Taylor
glad,
was the
Because it's
MVP.
not focused on it.
yeah, I'm
Zach-
glad about that because again, at least I think in like Dino Fury, the same type of thing applied, but at least they treated it like it was nothing. It was nothing special. It was
Like,
just
Zach- Zach looked exactly like he did in Mighty Morphin. Like that dude
Yeah,
hasn't
yeah,
aged, and his
yeah,
dance
the
fighting
dude-
scene was amazing. When he,
Yeah.
when he did the
box-
dance fighting, I'm like, you bringing me
yeah,
back?
the hip,
He's
yeah,
like,
the
you
hip
used
hop
to
and
do
Cheeto,
that? He's
yeah.
like, yeah.
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 He did the little move that he did in the old intro, and I'm like, oh, I see you. Super nostalgia. I love it.
Mhm.
Yep. I mean,
because
let's
I'm going to
go
say,
ahead, Mike. I'm sorry.
as an outsider's perspective, but it was made for you guys.
Oh yeah.
Yep.
Here
Oh,
are
yeah,
your
no,
Rangers. They're back. Have fun.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No. Well, I
Yep.
mean, but how else would you? It did pay. It did pay some homage to the other ones because obviously they were capturing other Rangers and stuff like
Mhm.
that from the different franchises. But you know, it's really hard to do a 30-year reunion without the original one that started it all. And I think that was probably the more appropriate way to go. So if there is something Netflix wants to do in the future, they can do a larger crossover, or they can focus on maybe a little bit of a different show in the same universe, so to speak. So,
Yeah. The only big missed opportunity that they had, and I'm throwing this down to budget issues solely, is when they do the protocol and you see the various locations. Those are all the various Ranger teams like home bases or their locations that they operate out of. It would have been great if you had seen if they shown like it could have been 5-10 seconds. You see like Ranger teams, they're other Ranger teams are battling the putties, and then you see them get captured, but you actually get to see other Ranger teams that are being captured. Like that would have been really cool because you had Space, Zeo, Dino Thunder,
Lost Galaxy.
Lost Galaxy.
And I think the Phantom Ranger the Phantom Ranger, Dino Thunder, and even the recent season Beast Morphers. They were
Beast Morphers, with the blue. I think it was the blue Beast Morpher. So like that would have been really
blue,
cool.
No, blue. I think blue, gold, and red were all taken.
Yeah.
Like a 1 minute shot of like all the Rangers just being taken, like a little panning shot of like the different teams being overtaken by the putties and stuff.
I would agree.
Or no, all the ones that were captured by Robo Slizzard.
Yeah, specifically those, because that way it ties into those Rangers. Like you're seeing them being overwhelmed by all these putties and whatnot. Like that. I mean, and the thing is, it would have brought a slightly more. And already it was kind of somber already because of what happened with spoilers, by the way. Anybody who has not seen it, spoilers, okay? Right now, letting you know. When in the beginning with Trini, when she passes, that was somber. And the whole show kind of slowly carried that throughout the whole thing, kind of like avenging her.
They gave the Yellow Ranger a great exit, too. I'm like, wow, that's respectful to her character. Have her go out a hero in the line of duty. I'm like, wow,
exactly, yeah. And to see that somber moment where you would have seen hearing music playing and just seeing one by one Rangers being captured, and they're seeing this on video, and they're like, oh my god, like we're all that's left essentially to hold out. You know, it would have brought a slightly it would have slightly raised the stakes a little bit. It wasn't needed, but it would have been nice to see. You know, that's my only really griping complaint.
Like in Lord of the Rings, when we see all like that false future that Frodo sees, like the hobbits and like everybody like getting enslaved by the bad guys, and there's that short little 1 minute
in
scene
the Shire,
yeah, you know what I'm talking about, where it's like the dark timeline. This is everything bad that's happening. Just a quick little. This is the worst that it could be.
Yeah,
well,
essentially,
give them credit too in this special where they brought back Richard Stephen Horvitz to voice Alpha 9.
Alpha, yes. He still got it.
And he also voices a character in Jedi Survivor. I know that because I played part 2 of my gameplay yesterday.
Yeah,
and I'm listening to the character. I listened to the character and I'm going, wait a minute. That sounds like the guy that voiced Alpha 5.
Which character is it, dude?
It's a frog character. I can't remember.
Oh,
name
the
of
frog!
character.
I met that frog in the bar. Yeah.
Wait,
Okay, cool.
wait. You mean the one that has dreadlocks?
No, that's the character's mom.
Yeah, there's like a frog that looks like the guy from Monsters Inc.
I thought you were talking about that. I thought you were talking about that Nautilus bounty hunter in the game.
No.
Yeah,
But
there's
what were
like
you gonna ask me, Brian?
Is it as broken as people are saying?
Yes,
I don't
it is
think so.
broken.
Well, you think it is broken?
I'm playing it on PC. I don't know if you're playing it on.
Oh yeah, I've heard
console
the
or...
PC. I got it on Xbox. Yeah, it's
I
much online.
haven't played it yet because I heard it was so broken, and that kind of bummed me out.
Yeah, my friend PC too, and he says it's not working the best either. Yeah, damn.
I've heard the biggest complaints are from people on PC. I haven't heard any complaints from console players, but all the PC players are ripping this thing a new one.
Okay.
That Rancor is strong as hell. I'll say that.
It deserves it because no game on release day should be as broken as this game is.
Ooh, that sucks.
It's just
Cyberpunk was pretty bad.
Another EA fail. It's EA, right? EA still has Star Wars.
It's EA and Respawn.
Respawn, the guys that made Titanfall.
Yeah, it's another EA fail, and of course, I'm not going to give Disney any passes on this one either because obviously they still have their fingers in it. I mean, they've had an account with EA for a long freaking time. You think they'd be able to fix their shit?
Well, EA is a money hungry company. They're all about the money first and helping people last.
Yeah, I mean, and that's a tirade I could go on regarding like Star Wars games and everything, but we're not talking Star Wars today. That's not the focus. But that's a rant I could go on.
Since and I didn't do it on purpose. I did kind of shift it into games. Let's go ahead and talk about. Let's go ahead and talk about the Power Rangers games.
Being in Power Rangers in this, that was interesting, though.
Yeah, because like I said, I'm listening to the voice of the frog character in Jedi Survivor. I'm going, that sounds like the guy that voiced Alpha 5. I even said it on stream.
Yeah, that's cool that you recognized it. That's for the fans. I do that with characters that I noticed from other things. I'm like, oh, I recognize your voice. Yeah, I know you.
So, Power Rangers games. Have you guys played any of the games? What console have you played it on? Is there a particular game you prefer?
I played the old fighting ones like back in the day. I don't even remember I don't remember what console it was. Just super old school, like Mortal Kombat type one-on-one fighting. I don't remember what it was called. I definitely remember playing those a lot with my cousins and stuff.
Yep. Those and then there was the story-based one too, where you could morph, and it was on Super Nintendo.
Yeah, and I remember playing one for Game Boy, a Power Rangers game for Game Boy.
Yeah, exactly. I vaguely remember playing that version of Mighty Morphin Power Rangers.
Black and white. Before Game Boy had color.
Yeah, exactly. I remember. Yeah, there was a kid I knew back in like first grade who had like an old Game Boy they brought to school, and they had a copy of Power, and I got to play it for a little, and I got to play with it for a little bit.
I think I even had
I didn't know how to do it
because I think I had the movie one with the Ooze guy too, because I think he had a game.
Yeah,
I think that was Power Rangers the movie, the game.
Yeah, I've definitely played that.
Power Rangers movie because there was a version of it on Super Nintendo. There was a version of it on Genesis. I had a Sega Genesis, so I played the Power Rangers fighting game that came out on Genesis and Power Rangers the movie on Genesis because on Genesis, Power Rangers the movie was more like Streets of Rage.
Yeah.
Yes. Yeah. I do remember that. You know what I've always really, really wanted out of a Power Rangers game is that they're either like Mortal Kombat style, or actually that's pretty much how most of them have been. Whether they're, there's very few exceptions to it. They're kind of like that Mortal Kombat fighting style.
Yeah,
I wish they kind of had a semi-open world game where you could teleport into an area, battle putties and whatnot, teleport to another area, morph or
battle any of the foot soldiers. No, there have been various tie-in Power Ranger games over the years for like Time Force, SPD.
Are there any like the Ninja Turtles? You know where like the Ninja Turtles, you have your team and then you like go through the stage and it's like you fight the different enemies and you all have your different abilities. That would be
you mean like a real time like a turn-based strategy game?
I mean that, or like 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 the Simpsons game or the
Yeah. Oh,
like,
yeah.
where you
I
go
think-
through
I think-
pages, side
I think-
scrolling. That would be fun, Power Rangers type stuff.
Well,
but
I think most of them were. I think some of the Game Boy ports of those Power Ranger games were side scrolling, but I think like you have like Power Rangers Super Legends, which is sort of like it was made around like the 50th anniversary, which kind of goes in line with like Operation Overdrive. That came out for like the PS2, I think.
Yeah, an open world adventure would be sick too, though. Like you get to
I-
pick your
Yeah.
ranger,
Yeah,
pick your
I would-
ranger, and you go and adventure. Oh yeah,
I would love to have something like that with like a story tied in. It's got like cutscenes and stuff, and it's kind of like a mini movie. I think that would be great, kind of like maybe a Jedi Fallen Order, where it's open world, but at the same time there is a driven
it's
story.
linear. Yeah,
It's it doesn't have to be super linear, but I wouldn't want it to be really RPG style because that would be too big in my opinion. But I don't think I've never played any of the Power Rangers games. I played like the one where you fight, kind of like Mortal Kombat style. Wasn't a huge fan of that. I haven't really liked
Battle for the Grid. I never got a chance to play that.
Yeah,
And I didn't like it because it just the biggest reason why is you don't get to choose your ranger. You have to go with whatever bad guys, because sometimes you do play the bad guy, or whatever ranger is part of the story. Like, because it's a story-based game, so you have to play with whatever you're given, and it's like I don't know. I've never been a big fan of those games because I suck at them. So that's why
I'm not good at fighting games.
Yeah, same.
good at
Fighting
fighting.
me and fighting games, I get my ass beat.
Yeah.
I stay away from online fighting people.
Yeah,
online.
definitely.
I'm not trying to embarrass myself.
I can understand it, but I'd say save at least one fighting game for like a rainy day when you have like a friend over or something.
I tried to play a Mortal Kombat game against one of my ex-girlfriend's kids, and I got my ass completely kicked. It was fucking embarrassing. It was I got fucking raped.
Yeah,
It was embarrassing.
Did you get your ass beat worse than Daniel did?
I was just like, this is so crazy. I'm like, oh my god.
Oh god,
there was a Power Rangers game. I know it came out on PS4 and Xbox One a few years ago. It's called Mighty Morphin Power Rangers Mega Battle. I did buy that game, and I played a little bit of it.
Mega Battle and also Battle for the Grid. Yeah, Mega Battle was not very good from what I hear. It was not critically acclaimed. But also Battle for the Grid, I think it kind of established the idea of characters like Ryu and Chun-Li becoming Power Rangers themselves. I think there was something that's like a sort of like a short video with Jason David Frank, Sierra Hanna from Megaforce, like again trying to tie in the idea that that Street Fighter characters can become Rangers now. So there is literally a Ryu Ranger out there.
Hey, that short film was great. I ain't gonna lie, that was a great short film that Bat in the Sun did, which by the way is also doing Legend of the White Dragon.
Yeah,
so
that is true.
There's that.
Let's get into that.
I was trying not to divert this just yet, Mike, but I guess it was kind of inevitable.
Yeah, well, like I've told you, you are a co-host whenever you're on here.
So
I got my cue.
So let me ask, because me personally, I really want to talk about Legend of the White Dragon, but I'm just really curious. What is for y'all? What's a game that you would love to see that's Power Rangers based? Like the style, what it would have in it. Like we talked about, kind of like a Jedi Fallen Order style. But are there any other kind of games that you'd be kind of wanting to play that are Power Rangers themed? I'm just real curious.
Like Dragon Ball Xenoverse.
Well, yeah,
I've never played in the Dragon Ball game, so I can't relate.
You create your own character, and then you go around all these different locations from the anime. So like that, you could have the Grove. What is it called in the original Mighty Morphin?
Angel Grove.
Angel Grove.
Yeah, Angel Grove, the Juice Bar, and all the locations and everything.
Yeah, but also if you're gonna create your own Ranger, I think that would have tied in with something that was the most ambitious idea that they were going to try. they were gonna make Power Rangers something called the Hexagon, where basically they were where you had dozens of Ranger teams that were consolidated by a government organization now, and it was essentially like the Pentagon, but it was for Power Rangers. It was in a secure place, in a secure base on the entire planet.
Yeah, what about like a Power Rangers massively multiplayer, like like a big old MMO with Power Rangers where everyone makes their own, and then you have like teams that do missions.
Yeah, like I said, that also could have gone in line with
neat.
the idea of the Hexagon. But Tommy Oliver was supposed to be like the head of the Hexagon. And of course, they would also have to deal with a group of rogue Power Rangers. But again, that's what the original idea for Ninja Storm was going to be like.
Yeah, that's why I was mentioning Xenoverse too, is because like you have access to all the timelines. So like you can have missions where you fight villains from Mighty Morphin all the way to the newest series of Power Rangers, where people can just play and fight whatever enemies and be in whatever era they find that they like the most. You can all fans.
I think for me the best way to do a Ranger game. And so, has anyone played Colonial Marines Fire Team? They came out last year. Anybody played that?
Oh yeah, Aliens. Yeah, Aliens.
Yeah, the Aliens game. Yeah, the Aliens game. So essentially, what you are is that there is a story in the game, but you can replay missions and whatnot. But essentially, it's a fire team of three people. Now, if you play solo, they give you 2 of the androids as your combatants. You could do a team of 5 because all Ranger teams are 5, even if even the ones that don't technically have a 6 Ranger, even though they kind of act like a 6 Ranger.
They have 3 core Rangers or they have 5 core Rangers.
Yeah, exactly. So what you could do is something like that, where you pick which Ranger team you want to be, or you pick a Ranger, and then that'll be the associated Ranger team. And it's based out of Time Force. Because remember, Time Force can access other dimensions. They can go through time. So that way it's based at Time Force. And then you can essentially respond to distress calls throughout the multiverse.
Yeah, but also
different Ranger teams.
Yeah, but there is another Ranger team that I don't think most people don't really know about it, but it's like a tabletop game. And that was Power Rangers Hyperforce.
Yeah. I do remember Hyperforce. Yeah, but I'm not talking Hyperforce. I'm talking like essentially you can access any of the teams, but it's only based wherever you have to go battle. So let's say you go to Angel Grove, it would be any of the Ranger teams that are associated with Angel Grove, or any teams that are associated with Lost Galaxy, what have you.
On Terra Venture, yeah.
On Terra Venture. So essentially, let's say Terra Venture has we're getting a distress call from Terra Venture, and then your character goes and your team, they grab the Lost Galaxy morphers. They jump to Terra Venture. Then you can run around as your human form. You can morph, and then if there is a big baddie, you can summon your Zords, and you can do that all throughout the multiverse. I think that'd be a fun way of doing it, where you incorporate as many Ranger teams as possible, but you still kind of have that open world-esque when you're at the like Angel Grove or Terra Venture, but it is still linear because there is a storyline of sorts.
Yep.
But I would still say keep the aspect of you create your own type of Ranger.
Yeah.
My only problem with that is that because there's so many different Ranger teams, there are some that are based on mystical powers, some that are based on technology.
Yeah.
It really gets complicated because when you're creating your own Ranger, it's like, okay, if you're going, say, Dino powers, it's like, I don't know. To me, that seems like it could get complicated.
Yeah, it would. Yeah, it kind of would be. Yeah, when you really do think about it. But I don't think it's like it'd be kind of odd, like incorporating the like already established powers, and you're just characters just assuming the powers. It just kind of makes things a little complicated.
Well, you can make the powers more like classes in games, so it's like you're more role driven. So you have like more of a healer class, a tank class, a DPS like attacker class.
Yeah, actually, well, in a way, if you think about it, that's kind of almost if you look at Mighty Morphin, for example, like they all kind of resembled that to a degree. Like especially if you look at their weapons, like Jason, the Red Ranger, or we'll say the Red Ranger because Red Ranger did change characters. The Red Ranger, he was the DPS. He'd get in there with his sword. Then you had Zach, who had his axe. So he couldn't really defend, but he could dish out damage. Then you have Billy, who could use his lance to keep at range while still dishing attacks. And then you had the Yellow Ranger. She gets in real quick, gets in a couple of blows, gets out.
Like a rogue.
The pink, yeah. And then you have the Pink Ranger, who's just lobbing arrows constantly, like stays out of
Archer or the
the Archer, So, I mean, if you look at the Rangers, depending on the season, they kind of already have that kind of. If you look at their weapons.
Like a Dungeons and Dragons party type of aspect going on.
Well, yeah. Zach's axe could also be used to kind of like a gun, because like when
he shot that thing. Yeah.
He would every once in a while shoot it.
Yeah.
So he would like flip it around like a shotgun. Almost,
I remember when he shot it. I was like, because that's the base when they make the super gun. And then they put the other stuff, and it's like the super gun.
Did you ever see the voiceover thing where they with the Rangers? It was the one where it has like the crab one, and it's the voiceovers, and it's like
that's the Juggernaut bitch, guys. I love that one. Yeah, with the crab. It's crab time.
And he gives Zach the black. He gives the Black Ranger the gun. He's like,
why the fuck I get a gun? And when the two Black Rangers are fighting, it's time for the black on black crime.
Oh my god. I have not seen that.
Oh, it's so funny. It's some of the best dialogue. The crab guy, who's ready for some crabs?
And then you get when Tommy he gets there and he's like, Zord, what's going on? He's like, motherfucker, we need your help.
Yeah, motherfucker, we need your help.
And then when he morphs, instead of saying Dragon Zord, he says Dragon shit. But it literally syncs up perfectly with him saying Dragon Zord.
Zach is the best. They call me the Mastodon because I got the trunk in the front.
Is there a link for this?
I can look it up.
Could you guys provide a link?
Yeah, it's called My Way. Let me look it up. I haven't watched that. I remember I found them out because they did an X-Men thing called I'm the Juggernaut bitch, and then I found their Power Rangers one.
Yeah, they did a Power Rangers.
Yeah, My Way.
Personally, I think that's something I would rather chew nails than actually have to sit through and watch. It's just too cringy.
It's so funny to me.
I'm sending you the link right now.
Okay. Look, abridged anime I could deal with because I'm not much of an anime fan.
Yeah, no, the abridged Power Rangers is so funny because the Red Ranger's like, I'm Jose Canseco.
Yeah, Jose Canseco don't get fucked by no crab. It's so good. I remember so many of it.
The Yellow Ranger.
Yeah, but the Juggernaut, it was apparently it was so prolific that it was actually used in The Last Stand by the guy playing the Juggernaut.
Yeah.
Yeah. It was so funny because the Yellow Ranger in it, they're like fighting.
Shrimp fried rice! Shrimp fried rice! Shrimp fried rice! So racist.
Oh man, I'm gonna have to watch that.
I sent Mike a link. He might be able to put it on for a second.
And then the Pink Ranger, they're like, "No, you're a hoe. No, you're a hoe because you got fucking herpes."
Yeah, it's like over 8 minutes long, so I wouldn't put it on.
Yeah, it's over, and that came out. I remember that back in like 2008. So this is probably between 15 and 20 years old. This is early YouTube days. This came out.
Being back when you could actually do stuff.
Yeah.
Oh man.
Oh god, that was. Oh god, I gotta watch that when I get.
Dragon shit. My Way, it's so good. I'm glad you brought that up, man. Eddie. What the fuck does that mean? I don't know. I'm Jose Canseco.
Yeah. I just love when they're giving out the weapons, and he's like, here's your sword and everything.
Yeah. All right.
And then they just get to the Black Ranger. He just gives it, and it's not in the axe; it's in the gun mode. Man, give me a gun because I'm black. And then he's like, and then you just hear Kat talking about like her $2.99 special, and then he's like, motherfucker, give me a gun because I'm black.
Okay, I'm only gonna play part of it, but here we go.
You gotta
it's so funny.
My bitch.
My
slave master.
All right, I'm gonna stop it right now.
Perfect. That was great.
Holy shit!
Yeah. So good.
All right, I will. I'll be.
Woogie.
Boogie.
Not the sword. Long John Silver time.
Hey,
All right, I'll be right back. I gotta go bathroom because of that.
Not the sword. Long John Silver time.
Oh my God, that was
man.
incredible.
I
I guess
make so much shit. It's
I
just-
guess we have a little bit of a lull. I have a
Oh.
Picard stream I got to do at 3:00 with a buddy, Samuel the Infamous and Horny Alf. So we're gonna be going over Picard season 3, episode number 1, and breaking it down. But yeah, I appreciate it. This has been awesome. And quite frankly,
Thank you for accepting the invite.
yeah, no, I appreciate you having me on. But no, the end of it there with that freaking thing, that was fucking hysterical. So I appreciate it, guys. And you can all my stuff is in the bio link right there. All my YouTube channels, my Twitter, and stuff like that, so you can find me there. But yeah, no, it's been awesome, and I hope to hang out with you guys again soon.
Oh, definitely, Ryan. Thank you.
You're
Really
welcome.
Appreciate it, brother.
See you guys. It's been awesome. Have a good one.
Peace
You
out.
too.
Frosty, Pookie, Eddie.
I mean, look,
I go by the name of
I-
Gangsta Krizab.
See, Jet Sparks, wasn't that worth watching?
Not
As a
entirely
huge
just
Power
like
Ranger
I'm just more or less just like, oh my God, this is bad.
Yeah.
This is so effed up. So effed up and this is so effed up and wrong.
If you've never seen what they do to X-Men, watch that later.
No, I remember I can
bashed
tell, I
animated.
remember my dad showing me that video years ago.
I'm the Juggernaut. So good. Love it. Love those guys.
All right, I'm gonna wait for our Patriot to come back. So,
Oh,
do you
crying,
guys
I'm
have
laughing
anything else to
hard.
say about Power Rangers games before we move on to the next topic?
We were talking about most of the games I know of, and then we thought of games we would make.
Well, well, like I said, I haven't played many. I'm aware of a lot of Power Ranger games, but I've never really played many of them. Like I said, my only experience I've had is playing like the version of Mighty Morphin Power Rangers on the Game Boy.
I think a Power Rangers that's like Batman Arkham series would be a lot of fun too. Like with like the button presses to like in the fighting with the putties and different monsters.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, because that's all Power Rangers really be limited to is just like things that involve a lot of brawling and fighting.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and then you could have like an open world type where you're investigating different monsters or whoever Rita or whatever villain has like put monsters in the city, and you got to go and clear each section of the city or something. Like Assassin's Creed 2, where you like go to towers or something, or like it could be different landmarks from the series, and then you uncover the fog of war of the map.
Yeah, exactly. But again, like open world games have become something that's like been a very tired like genre for a lot of like games. Everybody's really getting tired of open world games. I mean, sure, a couple of my favorite games on PS4 are open world games. I'm just cutting it out, but again, I'm just tired of like seeing these things. You got to go through all the fog of everything, clearing everything up. It just gets tiresome and tedious over time. And sure, I do love the games because I love them because of their story and the action. Like again, the web combos for Marvel Spider-Man were really great, but just
great game.
It's just kind of getting tired. But again, games like Far Cry, which is literally the bread and butter of the franchise, having everything be open world.
Yeah, and then you get the radio towers to unclog the fog of war, and on that game.
Yeah.
But it's actually pretty fun. Like I see what you're saying.
Yeah. But like I said though, we should move on to Legend of the White Dragon.
Yes, let's go ahead and move on to a movie that's coming out this October. It is getting a theatrical release.
Oh, it is?
An article I read a few weeks ago on Pop Talk said it was getting a theatrical release. Now, it might be, just at certain theaters, but it's getting a theatrical release. I can even look for that article or a similar article to that real quick. Just give me a second to do that. But what are your expectations for Legend of the White Dragon?
So it's about the White Ranger, I'm assuming? Or what is this about?
No, it's a Power Rangers-esque story, but it does involve, but Jason David Frank's character is a completely different character. But again, it's very Power Ranger-esque. which I do like about it. It has all the core themes and concepts, but it's adapted to be a lot more darker and more grittier and more serious than the original series. But again, originally Once and Always was supposed to be like it was supposed to be centered around Tommy, and that's also why the behind the scenes stuff is why Jason David Frank was not pleased with Hasbro and how it was like this is where it was like the last straw with him, because all the times that he had come back, like especially with Dimensions in Danger, he had to wear like a lot of like clothes to cover up all of his tattoos and whatnot.
Oh shit! So was this like the last thing he made before he died?
Yeah, it was.
Oh wow! Oh wow! I gotta see this then.
And I'll do what's customary here on Pop Talk. I will post a link into the chat for anybody who watches this on replay, as well as those of you who might be lurking right now. But we have this article from CBR, which was posted last month on the 17th. It said, Jason David Frank's Legend of the White Dragon sets release date. Late Mighty Morphin Power Rangers star Jason David Frank's upcoming film, Legend of the White Dragon, officially announces its release date. It goes on to say, Mighty Morphin Power Rangers icon Jason David Frank's final film has announced its release date. Per deadline, the North American theatrical release date for The Bat in the Sun and Bascula Productions' Legend of the White Dragon has been set for Labor Day weekend 2023. This coincides with what would have been Frank's 50th birthday. Frank tragically lost his life in November 2022. It goes on to say, directed by Aaron and Sean Schoeneck, Legend of the White Dragon stars Frank as Eric Reed, better known as the titular hero who exists in a space not all that dissimilar from Frank's Power Rangers roots. Reed is forced to clear his name after years of hiding. Aaron Schnook co-stars as the villainous Dragon Prime and enigmatic antagonist whose own plot puts Reed's heroes under a ticking clock. Jason David Frank's Power Rangers legacy, it says Aaron Schnook said, working with Frank, we are proud to have worked with such a talented actor, and we are grateful for the opportunity to share his final performance with the world. Having been on this journey with Jason for 10 years, I know he would be beyond excited to know that Legend of the White Dragon will be opening in theaters. Sean Snoke added, despite the tremendous loss, the production team has worked tirelessly to complete the film and ensure that it meets the highest standards that Jason set for himself. The result is a powerful, moving tribute to his talent and dedication. Goes on to say, Frank made his unforgettable debut as Tommy Oliver, in the multi-part episode Green with Envy. With Evil,
Envy.
sorry. I know. Well, you know what? Envy, Evil, it all works. From 1993's original Mighty Morphin Power Rangers television series, initially Tommy played the role of Rita Repulsa's Green Ranger before being freed from her curse and joining the heroes in their fight against evil. This kicked off what has come to be the most indelible of all Power Rangers legacies, spanning multiple mantles, ranging from his original Green to White Ranger transformation, as well as those of Red Zeo, Red Turbo, and Black Dino Ranger. In the ongoing Boom Studios comic book timeline, Tommy I know I screw up, but it's Pop Talk, I always screw up. Tommy was even given a second shot at being evil in the form of Lord Draken, who has become a fast favorite among fans, not to mention one of the deadliest villains in the eponymous heroes have ever faced. Legend of the White Dragon arrives in select theaters across North America September 1st. So there you go. And I do want to say hello to Kitty Bear. How are you doing, Kitty Bear? And he says, Legend of the Privileged Dragon. Well, you know what?
What are you talking about?
It's Kitty Bear. It's Kitty Bear. So, guys, your thoughts on Legend of the White Dragon as far as what are you expecting from it?
Like I said though, I know the Once and Always supposed to be surrounded around Tommy because the plot was supposed to be the plot for Once and Always was supposed to be very similar to what Legend of the White Dragon is supposed to be. But I'm glad they changed it and have it reflect more on Trini and her daughter more. But this is really going to be a tribute to Jason David Frank, and it's going to be something that he's always wanted to take the direction of Power Rangers in a way, make it more darker, more grittier. And again, all the work he's done with Bat in the Sun is really great because I really love the White Ranger versus Scorpion.
Yeah, superhero beatdown. That was great.
Yep.
Great stuff. I watch a lot of those beatdowns. Those are good stuff. I like Bat in the Sun.
Yep. And they are planning on coming out with more of them, by the way. They've been having all their efforts on Legend of the White Dragon, but they are going to get to the beatdowns at some point. Yeah.
Yeah. Again, another one other than like Scorpion versus is Domino and Deadpool versus Harley Quinn and the Joker, and also I really loved
Spider-Man versus Darth Maul is really good.
Oh yes, that's it. That's the one I was thinking of.
Yeah, that one is fucking awesome, dude.
I mean, but are we also going to forget Green Ranger versus Ryu?
Yeah, that was the original, right? Or
that was the first.
That was a newer one. Okay.
Yeah, the first one, Jason David Frank, he was the White Ranger, but you didn't know that until literally at the end, after he defeats Scorpion. He takes off the helmet and reveals it was Jason David Frank the whole time.
That's right. It's been years since I've watched those. Yeah.
And then the Green Ranger, he teleports in as Tommy, Jason David Frank. He teleports in human, fights Ryu for a little bit, and then he morphs, which the morphing sequence looks beautiful.
And I do like that they tied the dragon shield they tied the dragon shield and the dragon shield and the little scale that comes on the top of the helmet to the dragon dagger. I'm glad they tied it to that.
Yeah.
Which again, when they did Fighting Spirit, I have no idea why Disney added that little weird silver scale at the top of the helmet to match I know they did it to probably try to match the actual Dragon Zord, and they did finally give him a proper shield in that episode of Dino Thunder Fighting Spirit.
Yeah, I mean, the thing with Legend of the White Dragon is that Jason David Frank has said this outright. This is not a Power Rangers film. This is no association to Power Rangers, but it is Power Rangers in the aspect of what we like to see in Power Rangers, where the good guy, he has a special power, he can morph, all this kind of stuff, and the bad guy. So it will be Power Rangers in feeling to a degree, but it's not officially a Power Rangers fan film. It is not.
Exactly.
Like, he has specifically said that. It is not a Power Rangers film, but it will have a Power Rangers feel to it.
And that's exactly what a story that I'm writing that I think is my superhero magnum opus, because Power Rangers was the greatest inspiration for a superhero character I created back when I was in high school, and I'm still working on. I pretty much have the entire story mapped out, but I just need to write it all down. And again, it's just design elements of it really kind of match it in a little way, but I mean, there are small little details and aesthetic that give my heroes something of a sort of uniform feel, but they all sort of are very different and distinct from one another. So you actually can tell each one of the suits apart.
Yeah. And something I love in this is they've gone all out in this. So you have Jason Fount, Red Time Force, he's in this. Johnny Young Bosch, who was Black Mighty Morphin, Black Mighty Morphin, Green Zeo, and Green Turbo also.
Yeah.
Green Turbo, he's in this. The guy who plays Diggle from Arrow, he's in this. He's probably not in it for very long. And then there's another guy he's like a martial artist and everything. He's in this also. So they've They've gotten some great talent.
What was his name? Matt Mullins.
I'll be right back.
I can't remember. There's an article with a briefly with a short scene between him and Jason David Frank having a quick little like duel. It looks like in like a monastery. There's an actual article that was released a couple of months ago with like a brief like 15-second clip of like him in this. If you saw the guy, you'd probably recognize him. I'm going blank on his name. Let me look up his name right now because we have technology and we're not in the 1940s. So, legend.
We have technology.
Here we go. Let's see. Legend of the White Dragon.
Didn't work.
CO. Mark. Oh God. Dacascos?
I know. Oh, I know him. He's appeared in a lot of production. Heck, he was in like Dragon Knight as well, along with Matt Mullins.
Yeah.
Where I think he played the character known as the Advent Master, who was able to travel between the dimension where the riders get sent to when they take too much damage in battle. They're basically teleported to another dimension or like a world between worlds, essentially.
Yeah, and then you get David Ramsey. He's the guy who played Diggle in the Arrow show. Michael Marsden is in this. Sierra Hannah. Let's see. Kevin Porter, Jason Fount. I'm looking for any other names or people that look familiar to me. I think that might be it that I'm seeing. But yeah, it's actually got a pretty solid cast. And I think they raised like, I was like 2 million, 2.5 million, like completely crowdfunded. This whole thing was completely crowdfunded. It wasn't like a major corporation came in and said, here's $2 million to start up and then you can crowdfund. No, this was literally from nothing. They had an empty box with moss flying out and crowds dumped several million of crowdfunding into this box for them to use. So,
what did I miss? I had to go to the bathroom and stuff.
Just talk about Legends of the White Dragon.
Michael. Michael
Okay.
Madsen. Yeah. Okay, I see.
Yeah.
Oh, Michael Madsen? Yondu?
Yeah.
No, that's
no.
Michael Rucker is.
Oh, Michael Madsen's the guy from like the Quentin Tarantino movies and stuff. Mr. Pink and from.
Yeah. He's
Stuck in the middle with you, that guy.
Yeah, he's on the filmography for Legend of the White Dragon.
Oh, nice.
So that's what I'm saying. So they've really gone and gotten as much good talent as they possibly can for this. And I guarantee you, a lot of these people, they're probably not getting paid much, if anything. This is all probably just literally because they're just fans of fans/friends of Jason David Frank and Power Rangers. I guarantee it.
Yeah.
So I'm just stoked that it is actually going to be on select theaters, because in a way I feel like we're going to get another Power Rangers film on screen, but it's not going to have the Power Rangers title. So it'll be interesting to see kind of the reaction, because let's not forget, there have been movies that had a very limited film release, theatrical release, but enough people saw it to where they broadened the amount of theaters that it showed to. So who knows if they say, okay, we're going to release this to 100 theaters, and then they see that, holy crap, this thing's really selling well in theaters. Let's open it up to say 400 or 500, now 1,000. Who knows?
Yeah, I'm not sure they'll ever show this movie at my local theater, which only has like 2 screens.
No, they won't. I mean, heck, even so brief kind of like side note related thing. The Return of the Jedi, the big release that they've done in theaters, I have to drive like 2 hours north to even have a chance of seeing it. So
I gotta drive 2.5 hours if I wanted to see it, and I'm not doing that.
So I mean, it sucks because it's like I'm in range of like 5 different theaters, and I'm not get any of them. I gotta go. I gotta go to like 2.5 hours like away to like get there. So I'm not exactly thrilled, because when I get off work, I'm going to be fighting traffic. So there's no guarantee I could even get to the theater on time.
Right.
That's true too.
So, yeah.
Because in my area, the traffic isn't too bad in my area, but the closer I get to the Virginia state line, then it starts picking up.
Yeah. And for me, I got to go to Orlando. So, if you ever been in Orlando during when people get off work,
It's busy. It is very busy.
It is very busy. So pretty much, unless you got a flying DeLorean or like a puddle jumper, you ain't going anywhere fast.
Yeah.
My hopes for Legend of the White Dragon is that it does well enough in its limited release that they have no choice but to give it a wider release. And even if they don't give it a wider release, that enough fans support it when it comes to physical media and also streaming, that it gives Hasbro notice that you need to pay attention to this and do something proper with Power Rangers.
Well, if I can get it, if I can get it on physical media, I'll gladly grab a copy if I know where to get it.
I donated to the crowdfunding, so I'm slated to get it's either DVD or Blu-ray copy of it whenever they do release it. Yeah, because I actually donated to the crowdfunding.
I didn't even know where the crowdfunding thing was. If I knew, I would have given them my money hands down.
Yeah, the only reason why I knew about it is because I followed on social media Bat and the Sun. So so I remember when they first announced it, they did a little reveal video, like a little teaser trailer, kind of like promotional thing. There was a video with Johnny Young Bosch and Jason David Frank talking about it and the crowdfunding. So like I remember when this thing literally took off out of nowhere. Like I remember it from like its origin. So I've been following this for however many years. I have been following this like religiously because I'm so excited to see what Bat and the Sun can do. And remember, Bat and the Sun's a YouTube channel. They're not exactly like multimillionaires that have millions to blow on their episodes. And yet they do the action, they do the effects, the choreography, they do everything so well. So it's like, imagine what they could do to make a feature film for like $2.5 million. Just imagine what they could do with that if what they can do is say 40,000 looks phenomenal, $2.5 million on a feature. You know, let's see what you guys can do.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, but that's the whole thing, though. You can do a lot more. I mean, then again, most people just blow all their money on like advertising and whatnot. But the thing is, really, the best advertising and marketing you get is simply through word of mouth. That's the best you can do, and you don't have to pay for it.
Yeah, I mean,
let's take a look at Puss in Boots as one of those movies that word of mouth helped spread, interest into the movie, because Universal was originally going to just release that straight to streaming, and then they changed their mind and decided to release it in theaters. And the more people that went and saw it and gave it a good word of mouth, other people went and saw it. Or other people went and saw it multiple times. Look at Super Mario Brothers right now. Look at the word of mouth that movie's getting.
Especially because critics don't like it.
Critics don't like it, but do you know what? It's crossed the $1 billion threshold.
Yeah.
So, and if any guys, I don't know if any of you guys watch Friday Night Tights, Nerderotic Geeks and Gamers.
I watched their live from Vegas meetup.
Right, yeah, I know. So did I. But you know the bet, right, between Odin and Jeremy.
Yeah.
Yeah, Odin now has to eat a pineapple pizza now.
I don't care. Give me a pizza. I'll eat the whole thing. I'll eat the whole thing.
No, I mean, I would too. I just find it funny how they've been talking all of this since before the movie released. Like, they've been talking all this smack to each other, and it's like, it's finally kind of like, all right, time to put up or shut up. It's
give me a Hawaiian pizza. You send me a Hawaiian pizza, I'll be happy.
Yeah, I mean, I ain't gonna lie. Pineapple's not exactly my favorite on it, but if you offered me a pizza with pineapple on it, I wouldn't turn it down.
I wouldn't either. I would just take the pineapple off.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I'm surprised.
exactly.
I've seen like Donnie Pearson in a lot of the FNT Jack Show like chats, and yet he's not here. That's weird. I guess he may not be aware of this amazing man known as Pacific 404. I don't think he's aware of this guy.
Yeah, I know, right? Seriously. You know what? Do you know what? Here's the thing about Mike. Mike's a hidden gem. People just can't handle how amazing he is. So that's why they're not subbing, because they're like, dude, this guy's too awesome. This guy puts out amazing content, and you know what? I just can't handle it. His awesomeness is too much for me to bear.
We're not worthy. We're not.
We're not.
Yeah. Why did Data spontaneously laugh like that again? What was the reason?
Q
The
did it.
emotion chip, I believe.
Oh,
No, it wasn't the emotion chip. It was Q. It
Oh,
was the
that's
episode where
right, yeah.
Q had his powers taken away, and he hated being on the Enterprise. He hated being around humans and having to be a human.
That's a great
where,
one.
you know, he and Data have a moment in one particular scene, and at the end of the episode, which that was near the end of the episode, Data lets, not Data, but Q lets Data experience the emotion of laughter for the first time.
That must have been nice.
Wow.
Like a straight shot of laughing gas.
Yeah, pretty much. Ronnie G.
DJ Ronnie G.
DJ, I don't know if you were here about 15 minutes ago when we watched the Juggernaut voiceover.
My way, yeah. So
I'm
good.
gonna
Crying,
put the
laughing.
link back out there for him so he could check it out.
Good.
and-
I mean, but here's my thing with Power Rangers is that I'm already starting to see that they're letting culture affect them.
yes, that's the problem.
Because and again, this is not meant to sound political or anything. This is just being an observer.
You've been here a lot enough, Patriot. You know that I've said I don't want political talk, but if it's related to the topic of discussion,
No, I know,
I
know, and that's what it is. So like, I'm starting to notice things that are in our culture. I'm still slowly starting to see them in Power Rangers. I'm not going to go into specifics, but
Yeah.
I'm just going to say that. And if you watch Power Rangers, especially the most recent one,
yes,
and there's something with the Green Ranger.
yes,
That's so,
Yep.
and that's all I'm going to
Yep.
say. And then
Same-sex relations.
I wasn't trying to go there, but yes,
Yes.
essentially,
Yeah,
I'm trying to.
I'm just wondering. I'm just wondering if Power Rangers
I'm
eventually
trying to
got
be
to
as,
that.
in respect of Mike, I'm trying to be as
I hear ya.
a-
True that.
as cryptic
what is
as
it?
you can.
yes,
as cryptic as I can. Yes, in respect
Yes.
of Mike. Yeah,
Be vague,
and
yes.
the setting for
Fair
it.
enough.
So, and that's the problem that was always my biggest fear with Power Rangers is would they stand outside of culture and just be their own thing, or would they slowly start accepting certain elements of culture? That's always been my biggest fear because we've seen it in Star Wars, we've seen it in Star
Yes.
Trek,
Will it
we've
be
seen it in
agenda
Doctor
driven?
Who. We've seen cultural things, cultural agendas pushed into our favorite franchises. And my fear is Power Rangers is going to slowly start succumbing to that over the next 5 to 10 years. You're going to start seeing things. And that hurts me because as a fan, because I don't
Me
watch
too.
I don't watch Star Wars. I don't watch Star Trek for these things. I watch Star Wars because I want to see X-Wings and TIE Fighters slugging it out in space.
Lightsaber battles and the Force.
Lightsaber battles.
Fights, stuff like
Yeah,
that.
I mean, I want to see Star Trek for amazing beauty shots of the ships, for the intellectual stuff, for the scientific technobabble that quite literally makes zero sense, but you just accept it because it's part of the Star Trek universe.
Yeah,
You know, Doctor Who for the whimsical, just kind of outlandish things where it's like, here we
Yes.
are on Tekken 7, where the rock people spit vomit at each other to say hello. Like, you know, like the crazy things of Doctor Who. It's like these things are these culture has infiltrated them.
Yeah,
Yes,
the
and
timeless children.
And you want to be able to watch Power Rangers for the over-the-top villains.
Yes,
Yeah.
over the top
Yeah,
villains.
The rogues
Adventure-
gallery.
yeah,
The rogues
Adventure-
gallery of Power Rangers is the funnest part. What
Yeah,
wacky
exactly.
villain is next? What's this villain of the week? What do we got?
Yeah,
Yeah,
but I
and-
still think the struggles of the main villain are often good too. I mean,
Mhm.
they're either gonna be scary, they're gonna be so dangerous that you practically will get nightmares about these guys, or you're gonna sit there and just like you gotta suddenly laugh at how ridiculous they are at times.
That's what I loved about the original is you had Rita, she had her clay guy, she had the goofy flying monkey people.
Yeah,
the monkey
creepy,
people.
creepy gold monkey. Yeah, big
Yeah,
gold
well,
monkey.
she had the other blue monkey guy.
What do you mean,
guy with the
creepy gold
monocle.
monkey?
She had the
Yeah.
Goldar.
I had
Who
no
was
idea.
that?
I had no idea Goldar had a brother named Silverback. He had a
Who was
brother.
that goofy monkey that was blue and he walked on 2 feet and he had like a monocle?
Babu.
Yeah, he had like a monocle and shit.
Yeah,
Yeah,
squatting Babu. Yeah,
I
squatting
liked
Babu.
all of that, and then I loved how the guy like would morph monsters out of the clay, so you could have like endless possibilities.
Yeah, Finster.
Yeah, Finster.
Finster, yeah, and
is like her tinkerer guy. He was awesome.
yeah, and that's the thing is that these franchises for the longest of time stood outside of culture. They were their own self-contained things.
Yeah,
You know?
that's what made it good, and that's also why I wanted to keep with the story I'm writing. It's its own thing, and yeah, there are a couple other stories that kind of spin off from that, or at least 3 other stories that spin off from this character, and one of them is like a prequel, but it's a little more darker, but it kind of like ties in to everything that happens in my superhero magnum opus story, or elements and the sort of thing, like characters that are somewhat the reason why the villains are who they are. The characters in one of those stories is connected to those villains, or at least what they are. The kind of they have abilities that sort of connect to that sort of like connect them to the villains of my superhero magnum opus story. That's again inspired a lot by Power Rangers.
Right. Yeah, and this is the problem. And Mike, how many conversations have you and I had about just culture infiltrating our franchises that we love? How many? I mean, I can't count them.
Yeah,
I can't count them anymore because every edition of Pop Talk, there's something coming out that week in the news, you know, in pop culture and entertainment, where we're discussing it and saying, "Oh, great! Now they're adding this. Come on, we're tired of this." I mean, Cash and I, you know, Cash is gonna watch this and say, "Yeah, there they go again. I'm not on stream when they bring me up, but Cash." You're a co-host, so I'm still going to bring you up even when you're not here. But we've talked about games and why games shouldn't have problems on day one. Jedi Survivor shouldn't have any issues on day one. They said they were taking an extra month to polish out the bugs that were in the game. Well, guess what? I don't know what bugs you polished out, but whatever bugs you polished out, you added more into the game.
Yep.
Yep.
You fix one problem, it causes more bugs. That's what I always hate about a lot of modern games now, and why I'm not buying as many as I would want to, because you don't really know. It's always going to be a 50-50 whether it's going to be a quality assured product or it's not going to be.
Cyberpunk was one of the worst for me. Like,
yeah, it seemed like it was the greatest.
It
It was the
old
greatest
one.
disaster in gaming history.
it was unplayable.
here's
I
the
literally
thing.
had a game I couldn't play.
Here's the thing. I bought Survivor because of how much fun I had playing Fallen Order.
Yeah.
I am going to go see Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 3 because I've enjoyed the first 2.
Yep.
Yep. And this is the problem is that, and the thing is, unfortunately, studios and gaming studios in Hollywood, this is something they haven't quite gotten the sorry, get some water here for a second. They haven't gotten the grasp of yet is that when we play video games, we want them polished and not agenda driven. We want to enjoy the games for what they are. When we sit down and watch a movie, We don't want to see the cultural or political agendas shoved down our throats where it's so obvious or all these subtle hints. I want to see, if it's a horror, give me a horror. If it's a comedy, give me a comedy. If it's an action, give me an action. Sci-fi, whatever.
Yeah, if it's action, make sure we get pumped for it. If it's horror, make sure it terrifies us. If it's comedy, make sure it actually makes us laugh. So that's the whole thing.
It's just like if there's a new Power Rangers game coming out, because we were talking about games earlier, I want the game to have the look and the feel, not just in gameplay, but in the story of Power Rangers. I want to be able to feel like I'm actually a ranger out there battling putties or whatever monsters that I'm battling. I want to have that feel. When I'm in a Zord, I want to have that feeling like I'm in a Zord battling this giant monster.
Yep. Yep. You don't want to be told X this or Y that. Like, you just want to be like, you know what? I want to fight putties, or I want to fight lizard tards, or whatever the little goon, the little minions are of the main baddie. Like, you want to fight them, you want to morph, you want to have your weapon, jump into your Megazord, and
lizards.
You know.
Yeah, one of the monster things were called lava lizards. Chillers and lava lizards.
That's like something from Zelda Breath of the Wild. Those fucking
you also got the Vivix, Tronics, Grinders, Cogs, Tyrannodrones, Triptoids.
Are these all the
tripods.
Different putties?
Yeah,
essentially,
different variations on the foot soldiers.
Yeah, the foot soldiers.
Yeah, the grunts on the ground.
Yeah, you always need those. You always need some fodder to get easily dispatched.
Even the cannon fire egg. Even in my story, there are eventually going to be cannon fodder villains that are just like that. Even the villain strips say they're just cannon fire to keep my heroes distracted.
Mm-hmm. And real quick, I do want to bring up Shannon's comment here, where she says, "Just let us enjoy the movie and have a brain break, and allow for us to enjoy the storyline without hidden agendas." Exactly. That's all we want. That's all
well said.
Any of us want.
Very well said. I agree 110%.
I don't want to be preached at, man. Let me just enjoy what I'm enjoying.
Yeah, it's ironic, but of course, all the people out there who are more agenda driven saying, "No, we're doing this to make sure you ladies feel happy and you feel say that this is meant for you. We're doing this for you. Screw those evil men. This is for you."
Sounds like She-Hulk.
I'm just gonna say this. And as soon as I say this movie, everyone's gonna know exactly what I'm talking about, because you're gonna say this. Top Gun Maverick.
Mm-hmm.
No agendas, just pure fun action with great story. That was it.
Mm-hmm.
There was no agendas. There was no
best film of 2022, in my opinion.
You know,
best film of 2022.
I'd say even 21. Even
went and saw
they're
it
with
twice.
me with the Northman, like that. They're pretty close for me, because I really enjoyed the Northman. That movie was awesome. So it's a tough one.
I didn't see the Northman.
I still haven't seen it yet.
Great
I've
Vikings.
heard it's good. Yeah, I've heard it's good.
Yeah. So for me personally, I like them both a lot. But Top Gun Maverick had it all, like you said. Like, it had no agenda. Just it wanted to tell a good movie, respect legacy characters. What a thought! Oh my god, what a concept! You don't shit on the characters that came before the new ones, and you have them work together. It's amazing how that works.
Yeah, exactly. You really want to be a passing of the torch. You actually got to make sure that the character who came before is like this total is still the badass we know them as.
Cobra Kai does it so good too.
And they're training the next generation. Hell, I even have an idea of where my hero is actually going to be a lot older now, and now he's training his kids, and also his fellow superhero teammates are going to be helping train and raise up the next generation to protect the world from the forces of evil.
Imagine Tom Cruise
pass down the legacy from one generation to another,
and he's just on an island drinking blue milk. Not giving a shit. I got this blue milk to drink. You young whippersnappers can handle this world. I don't care about anything anymore. Yes, that's where I wanted my character to go. Beautiful.
There was something I wanted to bring up, and it's still Power Rangers related,
Yes.
but it happens to do with one of my other favorite franchises besides, He-Man, Transformers, Star Trek, and so many others. But this particular franchise, and I think you know which one I might be talking about, Patriot, it deals with some amphibians who enjoy eating pizza, and how when Power Rangers came out, how quickly Power Rangers overtook the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles.
Teenage Mutant.
Yeah, exactly. But heck, there actually was a Power Ranger crossover with them. But it was like
Yes,
it was
there
just
was.
yeah, a Saban produced TV. It was a crossover with a Saban produced
Ooh, that had to be
version
rough.
of the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles: The Next Mutation.
It
And they actually had a
was-
female turtle. They had a female turtle named Venus.
What?
And yeah, it was
it was the Power Rangers in space.
yes.
And the astronomer goes to Earth, kidnaps and brainwashes the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles to turn them against the Rangers. The Rangers essentially, how did Black Widow put it in Avengers? Does a cognitive reset. Basically, they knock them out for a second.
Yeah, exactly.
And
how they even reprogrammed the AI of their ship / Megazord. Heck, she even says, "I've been certified."
Yeah,
Oh.
it was, and then they
Megazord
all
will
end up
self-destruct
joining
in 15 seconds. 14, 13, 12, 11, 10, 9. While she's talking in a surfer accent.
Yeah, it's probably one of the more earlier, aside from
To the 10th
anything in
power. No, to the 10th power was in like Lost Galaxy. I forgot. Sorry about that.
Yeah, it was. It's one of those episodes you have to see to believe.
Yes.
I have watched it, and I'm going,
Oh boy.
Wha-
Boy.
what have you done? What have you done to my turtles?
Yeah,
I mean,
it was
sorry
so
for
bad
sorry
that
for the
even the
Shredder
Red Ranger
impression,
that
but I
season
can't help
said it
it.
was stupid. Even he thinks it's stupid.
Oh my god!
Peter Laird, one of the creators of Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, says, "I don't speak of that series."
Yeah,
Even though he
Smart
originally
man.
approved of it, when he saw what the final product was, he distanced himself from it.
yeah. Haim Saban was just. I mean, since Power Rangers was so well received, Haim Saban literally just tried to replicate the success of Power Rangers and just apply it to everything he tried to produce. Whether it was
Big Bad
Beetleborgs,
Beetleborgs or VR Troopers.
VR Troopers, Common Masked Rider, and of course Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. They essentially were trying to copy Power Rangers. All of them were.
Yep. I mean, and that's the thing is that you had in the 90s, you had let's see, you had VR Troopers, you had Beetleborgs, you had the Knights of Tyranno, which was essentially like based on like Irish lore, and it was Power Rangers-esque, where these average people would morph, in parentheses, using ancient mystic powers, ancient mystic elemental powers to defeat the great evil of the land. It actually got like it got like a season and a half, actually, surprisingly. And then you had tattooed teenage fighters.
Oh my god, that was shamelessly bad.
If you all have never seen,
or what about this other one? Superhuman Samurai Cyber Squad. Oh my god.
There was that. No, but the tattooed teenage alien fighters from
Beverly Hills.
What about the Warriors of Virtue? You remember that? The fucking kangaroos?
You know, the thing is, I actually enjoyed Warriors of Virtue because I like cheesy martial art movies.
Yeah,
I grew up on them.
Same.
So, like, Warriors of Virtue is, like, right down my alley.
Never heard of it.
97 movie, yeah.
Yeah, it's a 97 movie. You know what the funny thing is? And, Mike, you're going to get a kick out of this.
Okay.
One of the kangaroos, he's actually the one who pretty much doesn't speak until the end of the movie. He ends up becoming captain of the USS Discovery. Can you guess which Discovery character I'm talking about?
Saru?
Yep. That guy played the the metal
Doug
elemental
Jones was in
kangaroo in
Alright.
Warriors of Virtue.
Hey.
It's him. I actually looked up on IMDb.
That's insane.
That because I'm scrolling through, I'm like Star Trek Discovery, Saru. I'm like, what the
He was a kangaroo at some point.
Yeah, well, I mean,
kangaroo,
that's why
karate
I brought
crew.
up Hillary Shepard Turner, because I'd first seen a clip of her on Power Rangers Turbo, and then the next thing I know, she's playing one of the augments on Deep Space Nine. I'm going, wait a minute, she's from Power Rangers.
Yeah.
I thought they did hire non-union actors, unless she was a union actor. See, at the time, you gotta remember, at the time, this was 97, so we're talking
Yeah.
26 years ago.
Power Rangers was a non-union
Things were
show.
different back then, yeah.
So I was, going, wait, what? Not really thinking all the way through as to non-union actors can pay their dues and become union actors, so they can, get a wider resume of work. So when I saw her, I'm going, she's a Power Rangers villain. But I like her character here on Deep Space Nine, especially the way she was flirting with Dr. Bashir. Because it showed me that any of these actors that are on Power Rangers, they may not be the best when they're on the show because of the material that they're given.
Yeah, but they
but they can make that leap onto other shows, and they can show you their acting chops. Amy Jo Johnson's a perfect example.
Yeah, and I think we already know actors like Ika Darville, who was in RPM. He was in Jessica Jones, and I think I don't know. I think Ari Boylan, who was also in RPM. I'm not sure what else he's done. I mean, he was in a couple like Disney DComs before he got into Power Rangers, and Rose MacGyver was also on Power Rangers RPM. She was the Yellow Ranger. She went on to become in the character of iZombie, and now she's on the CBS show called Ghosts.
Yep. And then actually RPM, Tanaya 7 actually went on to do the show. I think it was called Rain. It's where she's like the Queen of Ireland.
Yeah.
She went on to do that.
Her name
show.
was Adelaide Kane. Yeah.
Yeah, that's it. Yeah. Yeah. Although the funny thing is, the Yellow Ranger of SPD, she's pretty much the actress that shall not be named amongst all of the Ranger actors/actresses for one reason and one reason alone.
Yeah, we all kind of know what she's done.
Yeah,
I kind of need you to clue me in. Who is this particular person, and why is she so infamous?
It's if you ever seen Power Rangers SPD, she's the brunette, the Yellow Ranger.
Yeah, she's the Yellow Ranger. Yeah,
she's the Yellow Ranger. Well, after she got done with Power Rangers, she went on to do, let's just say, various acts as a career that you do online. If you're nudge, wink, wink. Yes.
and she's even done actual shows,
that kind of stuff.
And she's also done
OnlyFans,
those types of shows.
Yeah. I'm trying to be discreet here.
Dude,
Surely you can't be serious.
Exactly.
I am serious, and don't call me Shirley.
Yeah, and she's also done the type of dancing that starts with circus,
exotic dancer.
Well, essentially, but the more fancier types of ones, fashion,
a more burlesque
type
show.
Yeah, she's done that. That's what she's done essentially.
She's done that, but then she also did adult stuff. That's about the most I can say. Too. So
now there was another Power Rangers actor who actually did gain some fame, and Serena Vincent.
Oh yes.
Serena.
Yes, from Lost Galaxies. Yeah, she played the only one who's technically an alien, she's from a planet called Miranoi, but her people are pretty much near human essentially. Because I mean, again, Power Ranger aliens have either ranged from something that looks very near human or entirely human to oh god, run away.
Yeah. So you know, and then we also we also had the Red Wild Force Ranger doing his thing.
Yeah, and he did come back for Samurai as like the villain, Decker, or
which
again it was a direct translation from the Sentai Shinkenger.
Yeah, it's but he's so for those who don't know, the guy who played I believe it was Cole, right?
Yeah, Cole Evans on
Cole
Wild
Evans,
Force,
yeah. He he was arrested many years ago for stabbing his roommate with a katana.
I heard about that
ironic,
story.
and yet he played a katana wielding swordsman monster in Samurai. So it's kind of ironic.
It's you know, I mean, the only thing is that he's the only way he's ever known is because of Power Rangers. Other than that, this guy would literally just be a Joe Schmo who stabbed another guy with a sword. Like, but because he was the Wild Force Red Ranger and then Decker, you know, the katana wielding baddie in Samurai. Aside from that, he is literally unknown to the world. Literally unknown to the world.
Not the sharpest knife in the drawer.
I mean, most of those Ranger actors do frequent a lot of conventions. And I know some who still stay on it a lot. And I know other characters like Eric the Quantum Ranger, Dan Southworth. He's gone on to do other productions. Heck, he played Kenshi in Mortal Kombat Legacy, and I say he did a great job playing Kenshi.
Yeah, Kenchi's
one of my favorite characters of Mortal Kombat, next to Sub-Zero.
Yep. And then Jason Fount, he actually voiced the male character in one of the Resident Evil games. Then you have Sierra Hanna, who's done a bunch of kind of B-rated movies. Like you're not going to see them in Hollywood. They're kind of like niche movies, but she's done a lot of those. Sierra Hanna, she was the Mega Force and Super Mega Force Yellow Ranger.
Yeah, and I think the Mega Force Pink Ranger, I think she got her start in acting. I know she's done commercials and she's popped up here and there, but I know I think one of her starts is she was in a Levi commercial.
Yeah, and what's funny is the guy who was in Mystic Force, the red-haired guy, he was the Yellow Ranger. He was in this random commercial. It was like a barber or credit card. I just remember I think it was in a barber shop randomly, and he was in it. But then the one chick who was in Beast Morphers. So you remember you had the two who were supposed to be Rangers, but then they got taken over?
Lana Ramirez, yeah,
her, and then her. I remember seeing her. And the guy who played the Yellow Ranger from Mystic Force, they were in a commercial together 2-3 years ago, I think. It was this random commercial. I just happened to recognize them. Wait, is that that's him? And just because he has a kind of unique way of the way he talks, kind of.
Yeah.
You know, he's very kind of like this.
Yeah.
So.
But also, again, what you would say. I know I've watched the original Sentai for Beast Morphers Go Busters. I mean, the guy who plays the Red Ranger, he basically would be, if you put him in the costume that the villain who created all the virus monsters, if you put him in that costume and made him act out all those manner, he literally could play that character in live. He could literally play it in an actual direct adaptation of Go Busters. He's Rory, Dave, Travis, he's perfect to play Enter. He looked like you put him in the costume and gave him all the mannerisms. He's perfect to play him like an actual an American equivalent to Enter. But that ended up being Colby Strong, who played Blaze. Which again, I don't understand why you would name your son Blaze. Is it a nickname? I don't get it.
I don't get it either. Although I will say this, people love to hate on Megaforce, and I hate on Megaforce a lot too.
I can come to agree. They tried to splice two of Sentai's into one. The first half of Megaforce was Go Sager, and then you had Super Megaforce, which was Go Kaiser, which was meant to be the 35th anniversary. And the gimmick for that season is that they were pirates, but they also could transform into the previous 34 Super Sentai teams and adopt all their powers.
Yeah. So, but the Power Rangers. So the thing is, Super Mega Force. I actually enjoy. I liked it only for the aspect of they would use the various. And the funny
Ranger
thing
teams,
is,
yeah.
if you notice when they morphed, they didn't use all of the various Ranger teams. They didn't use Turbo ever.
Yep, and of course, but hell, they used pre-Zoo Ranger suits, which made no sense.
It made zero sense whatsoever. And this is the biggest problem with it. And I've actually been on forums with this. At the end, you have this like 100,000 robot army, and you got the 6 Rangers. They're there, and they're like, "How are we gonna fight 100,000 robots with just the 6 of us?" And then all of a sudden, one by one, you see the previous teams, all 34. You see all the team Ranger teams. They start showing up, and they basically all join them in the fight. And this is where they got as many of the previous actors to reprise their Ranger roles, including Jason Fount and Jason David Frank. They got them all to reprise them. The biggest problem is 100,000 robots, even against, like, let's say out of all the Ranger teams, you got 30, let's say 200 Rangers. You'd think that battle would last for like hours because there's so many robots, and, Rangers, they're not immortal. They can get hit and damaged. They cut through these robots in literally a minute. Like, they're cutting through them like a weed whacker cuts through grass. Like, it wasn't this epic moment where all the Rangers, they're in this slug out fest of epic proportions. It was, a minute later, they're all dead.
But in Gokaiger, the villains were the most powerful enemy that Earth had ever faced. And even then, in order to stop them, they had to combine all their powers together into one massive attack and just annihilated their entire fleet and their ground forces all at once. They had to combine all their powers, but their powers were scattered across the universe. It took everything they needed to beat the Zodiac Armada.
Yeah, it was they had such an epic moment with that final episode. And even if you watch the extended version, which they used to have on Netflix, actually, before they removed like 98% of the Power Ranger stuff off of Netflix, they had the extended version of that final episode. But all it was against the big baddie.
Yeah, it was against Emperor Mavro or whatever his name was.
Which was cool, yes, to see them constantly literally going from one. So 1 minute they're Mighty Morphin, next minute they're Zeo, next minute they're in space, next minute they're Turbo, next minute. So they literally were like rapid firing Ranger powers, constantly changing it up so that way he couldn't adapt to their attacks. Yeah, it was cool and all, but when you have Jason Fount, Jason David Frank, you get as many previous actors there. And you have them actually in their roles, and you see all the previous Rangers from
barely any of them
Super Mega Force.
Barely any of them had any speaking roles too.
Some of them did. Jason Fount, he had one line. That was it. Like when they show him, it was him looking at the Lost Galaxy Green Ranger. They both kind of look at each other, and then they both kind of just stare out for a second, and then they go off. Like, he didn't actually get actual speaking role up until when. He says, what is it? Something along the lines of...
you definitely lived up to the legacy we left you, and we're proud of you.
Yeah, that's it. Yeah. So, I mean, and that's the thing, is that if you're going to have this epic moment where you have from Super Mega Force all the way back to Mighty Morphin, all the Rangers, all the 6 Rangers, all the 7th Rangers.
Yeah, and even then, the only thing we get from like Corona is that she looks at her because she assumed the Lost Galaxy powers after Kendrick sacrificed herself to stop Psycho Pink in the Lost Galaxy and Space crossover.
Right, yeah.
Yeah, she sacrificed herself. But the thing is, she basically turns on her helmet and she goes, "I love being a Power Ranger." And before she transforms, it shows her briefly as Astronema.
Yeah, and that moment could have been epic. Because just imagine like 10 minutes of you see the Rangers, they're getting tired out. They're, some of them are really more beaten up than others, but they're all just fighting and they're all like keeping each other motivated and whatnot. And they're just cutting through the robot. Just imagine that for like 5-10 minutes of just them. Like, you see this massive grueling battle,
Yeah, well,
instead it was like here I'm swinging my axe. Oh my God, 30 just fell down, even though 30 weren't in front of me. It's like there's no stakes to it. It's like, oh my God, it's 100,000 plus robots. It could be a million. We don't know. We just know that's at least 100,000. Oh, by the way, you all are going to go down in less than a minute, so there's no real stakes. There's no real stakes, no real battle.
That's why it was a freaking mess and a disaster. But
it was.
Yeah. But let's try to let's just get this ran over.
Let's go ahead and move on to the last topic for this stream before we end up wrapping it up. And the last topic is, of course, what does Super Sentai / Power Rangers mean to you?
My childhood.
Exactly.
Kimberly was my first crush. A lot of things.
Inspiration that made me want to write stories. It was a massive inspiration. And I mean, again, it's everything. It's the classic sort of thing about, the concepts of like transforming into a superhero. And we already know, like, the whole point of the spandex they wear, it's basically like that. They were something that's akin to what circus performers wore. They were the original daredevils out there. And now we had the old style Silver Age comic book heroes like Superman, Batman, the X-Men, and Daredevil, all doing the same thing. And then we have Power Rangers. It's just more of the same kind of stuff, just slightly more evolved, but they are also the same thing that embodies everything that superheroes are supposed to be. They're selfless. They are supposed to be people that we aspire to be like. And this is why even back in the 90s, the Power Rangers tried to serve as positive role models to kids everywhere. And I could say they left a massive impact on my life. And they always say, even when things are at their worst, you have to get back up and keep trying and don't give up ever until you succeed.
Yeah, there was good lessons to be learned in Power Rangers. It was kind of like an after-school special, but tied in a nice, entertaining bow where you can actually enjoy it and not feel like you're being preached at, but there is a message there.
It's sometimes it's subtle, sometimes it's like in your face and like over like wild force, like say save the environment and stuff like that.
Yeah, I think. For me, it's several things. But I'll just go with my top two. First, it taught me never to give up. That no matter how fierce a fight is, no matter how many times you get beaten down, if you keep fighting and you never give up, eventually you will find a way to win, to overcome that obstacle. I could give many Ranger examples. I won't, but there's from multiple seasons. I could give a multitude of examples, but never giving up. So whatever that applies to your life, you don't give up.
Yeah,
ever. You keep
when the odds are stacked
fighting.
Against you. There's still a chance.
Yep, and the second thing for me is that even somebody who has quirks. Somebody who can be an oddball, somebody who isn't the jock of high school, that they can have a special purpose, and they can do great things if they truly put their mind and their focus to it. So,
and again, it's really also about heart. Even if you lack physical capability, you make up for it with heart too. I think the Green RPM Ranger, Ziggy, pretty much embodies all of that.
Yeah, and there's many Rangers like that. But the thing is, at the end of the day, is that you could be the nerd of school, the guy who's always drawing comic book sketches, who's always getting beat up on and everything. But you're still really nice to everybody. You're still nice to the girl who you have a crush on, or you're still nice to your teacher. You're still nice to the principal. You're still nice, and you're a good-hearted person. You don't have a
good-natured person.
And then you grow up with that attitude of, you know what? I can still do something of value. I still have something of value to bring. And then let's say you find the cure for cancer, but because you never gave up. You took those two things. You never gave up. And you were somebody who believed that you could still do something in life amazing, even if others didn't think you had anything of value to offer.
Right? Having confidence in yourself.
Yeah. You know, and people can say that's old-fashioned
Self-belief.
thinking,
Mhm.
but
And real quick, it's not. It's kind of related to this topic. It's kind of not, but Patriot, you had mentioned cancer. Didn't one of the actresses of one of the series actually have to leave the show because she actually did have cancer?
Oh,
Yes, that was
who was it?
Valerie Vernon from Lost Galaxy, who played Kendricks the Pink Ranger.
What happened with her character?
She in the episode Power Pink, which was like the second part of the Power Rangers in Space Lost Galaxy crossover. There was 2 wings, to the 10th power, which had had both teams together, and then you had the Power of Pink, which involved they were still sticking around, and like the Rangers were showing them Terra Venture. And again, in both those parts, I think like Shakina brought back the Psycho Rangers, and
Psycho Pink,
and they attacked. But once they defeated the Psycho Rangers, Psycho Pink survived, but she tries to track down this powerful MacGuffin sword called the Savage Sword. And every blow it takes, it gets more powerful and gets bigger until eventually she uses it and destroys the Pink Space Rangers Morpher and creates this sort of powerful pink energy tornado that can destroy the colony. But Hendrix used the laser saber and destroyed the sword, but in effect, he lost the life. Her spirit.
Real quick, Jet, your mic's getting muffled.
Sorry.
Sounds like rain. I could hear like rain.
I'm not sure what that is because I know it's not me, but
it's not me. It's not rain on my end. I don't hear anything outside.
I mean, I've got a fan blowing near me, like lightly.
It could be the.
That might be that.
Yeah.
I don't hear it anymore. It sounded like rain coming down.
Yeah.
Okay, it's gone now.
Yeah, but like I was saying though, Kendrick sacrificed her life to save the space colony of Terra Venture, but her spirit basically left off with the Quasar Saber to parts unknown. But the former villain Astronema, who was the Red Ranger from In Space's sister, she finds the Quasar Saber and essentially takes on the power as the second Pink Galaxy Ranger. So it's a great little arc she has where she starts off the villain and then she ends up becoming a hero and a ranger in her own right. So Valerie Vernon did have cancer and that's why she was forced to leave the show, but she still got paid for her time gone and she used that money to pay for her cancer treatment. And
so she recovered and everything?
Oh, she recovered. She perfect.
Oh, good.
Which actually in when they did when Lost Galaxy came to aid SPD, I think Kendricks was there. I think she was the Pink Ranger in that team up.
That's cool.
Wait. Yeah. Oh, you mean in Super Mega Force?
She got a chance.
No. I'm talking when sorry, not SPD. When Lightspeed Rescue and Lost Galaxy, when they did their team up episode.
Oh yeah,
I think Kendricks was there. The actress who played Kendricks was there.
Yeah, Trakina's revenge, but it mostly followed around a little kid whose parents got captured. And of course, when she goes up to a receptionist, she says, "Look, hey, you need to help me? My parents have been taking my monsters." Sorry, sweetie, but monsters don't exist. Lady, your city is attacked by monsters or demons in the case of Lightspeed Rescue on a constant basis. Earth was invaded a few years ago. How did you not notice any of that happening?
There's like
a cave lady?
There's a big Men in Black light that goes in the sky and it erases everybody's memory. Everybody's memory gets erased every week. They don't remember what happened last week.
No, that woman goes home and she just drinks a lot to forget the monster.
Yeah,
that's why she has mommy's grape juice.
Yeah, get mommy's juice. Mommy needs her happy juice.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm pretty sure
the monsters go away.
Yeah, you probably would need a stiff drink after.
God, if you lived in Angel Grove, everyone in Angel Grove is drinking.
Most likely.
All the shit that they've seen. Oh, you're gonna need a stiff drink to process.
Are you kidding? the attorneys of Angel Grove City
Oh.
are actually going after the Rangers, saying, "Yeah, we're going to sue you for
Yeah,
all-
and
Property
that's
loss
always
of
the
life
thing. I
and
mean,
damages.
again,
and-
again, shout out to Linkara of Atop the Fourth Wall. He always brought up a crazy point in his Power Ranger retrospective videos. Is that we barely ever see any police officers in any of the cities, and again, the military's never sent in to fight the monsters, and they never show up and say, "Oh, no, we're not dealing with that. That's way above our pay grade. We'll let the Rangers deal with that."
Yeah,
We'll handle-
where are the fighter jets when like the big massive kaiju monster is stomping through the city?
Yeah, I don't know. I guess fighting
Where are
giant
the
monsters
humans?
above. And heck, I think in Beast Morphers, like I think like the Red Ranger when he has like when he tries to take command of like these Fury cells for like this new power up mode he gets called Red Fury mode. He actually tries to stop a carjacker, and a police officer tells him, "Hey, you put that guy down. Look, we the police will handle all the real normal human criminals. It's your job to protect the city from all the robots and Robotrons. That's your job. Our job is dealing with the real criminals, with the normal human criminals."
Real criminals.
Yeah, the normal human criminals.
Like, he should have said the less important, weaker. We can't handle the real enemies. That's what you know what I mean. Like,
yeah,
we're
normal
gonna
human
fight the
criminals, the normal human criminals. But here's the thing: my superhero, he's dealing with normal criminals as well as the super villains, as well as the superpowered villains he's fighting.
Why wouldn't the cops want their help? The Power Rangers could literally knock out petty crimes in like half a second.
Yeah, and there actually happened a couple episodes where, but it mostly boiled down to the Rangers getting notoriety. One of the Rangers getting notoriety for doing like good deeds or what, getting a lot of notoriety, and it basically going to their head.
I'm your friendly neighborhood Power Ranger.
Yeah, I think at Ninja Storm, Justin stops a robbery at the sports shop he works at,
and gets like a hero complex.
He gets superiority complex, and
that would happen.
His teammates.
I'm surprised that didn't happen more often with the Rangers when you get like imbued with all those powers. Like you're literally a Superman at this point. Like you're greater than normal humans.
Well, again, that kind of ties back to what Power Rangers are about. They're not supposed to use their powers for personal gain.
Yep.
But yeah, occasionally they have done that.
Tommy. Ooh.
I think even the Dino Charge Green Ranger used his Energem to try to win a marathon. Like, dude, really?
Yeah. Well,
that's basically a performance enhancing drug.
Well, but in regards to the military, though, Time Force did it pretty well because you had.
Same thing as Lightspeed, Grid Battle Force, SPD are essentially military organizations.
Yeah, because I don't think they ever showed them in Mighty Morphin. I don't think the military ever popped up.
But that's what I'm saying. Like, so Jason Fount's character, the father, he's trying to show off essentially like, hey, we can protect the city too. So like in this one episode, when the Zords were badly damaged and they can't be deployed, the father, he creates this giant like tank-like vehicle with all these energy cannons on it to try and defend the city. And cool. At first it looks like it's working, but the robot ends up defeating it. Yeah, so I mean, there have been little nods to that and everything, but I think it just goes to show where it's like, okay, the military is going to show up. We're fighting an alien, though, an alien that we don't even know what it can do.
Yeah, an alien.
No, we're not going to send a couple of $2 billion jets.
It'll turn into like Attack on Titan real quick, and you'll just have everywhere.
Yeah, exactly.
It's a fucking graveyard.
But at least I know in my story. Here's the thing, though. At least in my story, the military and the police actually do help out the hero circle. I would expect at least the police to be telling people to evacuate the area at least while the battle's going on.
That's what I liked. That's what I liked in the Transformers movies. Like they're lame in some parts, but at least like the military was making an active effort to fight alongside the robots and everything, and like fight back the Decepticons. Like they didn't just sit by and let like fucking cities fall. Like they actually had a plan to like do something. They weren't the most effective, but they were trying, you know?
Or more Transformers movie anyone needs to concern themselves with.
Or
Coronation Starscream. This is bad comedy.
Megatron? Is that you?
Here's a hint. Will anyone else attempt to fill his shoes?
Yeah. You're nothing, Starscream.
Honestly,
it's your death of energon dust.
Hey, Pacific. When you have free time, look up those My Way guys. They have an amazing Transformers video.
All right.
I mean, I think
Megatron is a gun.
I think when it comes to like the military or the police helping out in Power Rangers against the monsters, I kind of feel like it'd be that moment in the Avengers where you see the cops, they're just like occasionally shooting at these ships that are flying way faster. So they're like,
exactly.
It's gonna be an hour before we can scramble the National Guard. Does the military not know what's happening here? Do
Right?
we?
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, that's true.
No, I can
like-
see, I can see law enforcement in the Power Rangers series or movie going, "That's it, we're out."
Yeah,
Right?
But that'd be funny if they actually did do that. But at least in the story I'm writing, at least the police actually are actively trying to help, actually do at times try to actively help out the hero circle, or they try to tell them, yeah, we need you guys to do some stuff for us and help us fight back. And even then, when I end the series, it actually is going to end with like my hero, his teammate, his superhero teammate allies, and a bunch of military marine forces assaulting the enemy's base, and while he's sending out all of his soldiers to fight back, they're carving through them while they're sitting there giving them support fire. So it's something like that. It's a pretty massive battle where everybody's involved.
The Power Rangers could lend some of their tech to the police force, like show them how that super gun works. You know how they all fuse that gun together.
Well,
that might be some useful tech for the police.
I'm pretty sure the reason why Lightspeed exists is because I'm pretty sure all the technology they have was probably reverse engineered from older Ranger tech. That's probably how they built their Megazords, their base, and everything else.
Which I was going to
sense.
say this about Lightspeed and Overdrive.
Grid Battle Force or Hartford Industries, yeah.
Well, no. Specifically, when I'm talking about Overdrive and Lightspeed, I really appreciate that their Zords are actually based off of actual vehicles.
Yes.
Like, like a lot of people throw shade on Overdrive. I actually appreciate that all the Zords, like one of them is literally an aircraft carrier that transforms into a giant Zord. Like, obviously a variation on an aircraft carrier, but still, like, it's so refreshing because the Zords can really get out there, but it's really refreshing when they kind of bring it back down to earth a little bit.
Yeah, exactly.
With the Zord designs.
Because if it's like a privately funded operation like Operation Overdrive with Hartford Industries, or you got Lightspeed Grid Battle Force, it makes a lot of sense that they would be like it's a privately funded but with government subsidiaries.
Yeah, I mean, honestly, one of my top 5 favorite Megazords is what's the one from Lightspeed? It's the train one.
The Super Train Megazord.
Yeah, like literally that thing. Like one shoulder, it's got a giant like Gatling gun, and the other shoulder, it's literally like a massive missile pack loaded with missiles. Like its ultimate attack is it just does a massive Gatling barrage and missile barrage at the same time. Like,
how is that not lethal?
Train.
How is that not lethal? That's aimed to kill.
Yeah, it is.
That's not gonna stun nobody.
It'd be overkill if you fire it at a small monster.
Oh yeah, exactly.
It'd be overkill, or just stepping on the monster. Sure, it'd be funny, but hey.
No, that's what I'm like. What is the function of this attack? Oh, to obliterate? Okay, so you're trying to kill.
Yeah, but oftentimes I think in the later seasons of Power Rangers, some Power Rangers, they've become so OP that they literally one Ranger on the ground could literally just strike a monster with one slash of their weapon, just strike it down.
That was the Megazord.
Yeah,
the sword could just like chop one. You'd see some sparks, and then the monster would be dead. It's like, oh, one slice is all it took, huh?
or just where the Ranger running up on top of their Zord and just slashing up with their sword as just themselves and not using a Megazord.
Yeah,
that's like too OP.
It is. Well, then you don't even need Megazords. You could just run up on anything and just slash.
Well, and that was honestly my biggest complaint with SPD's last episode is when Doggy goes onto the ship and the one chick, she's just creating monster after monster, and Doggy's literally one hit killing them. I'm thinking, okay, great, I get it. You have a very powerful sword and you're a skilled sword fighter and warrior. But where was this earlier in the series?
I mean, yeah,
the fight monsters before.
Yeah, the fight. Yeah, the
sword's
fight.
kind
Yeah,
of important if it can one-shot monsters.
Yeah, again, it's a little thing called plot convenience.
Yeah, I mean, I just laugh at it where she's just chucking like it's like monster after monster after monster after monster. He's just like walking through
her page drawings or whatever. When she
for her page drawings, he's just walking and like one slash, dead, you're even more dead, you're even more dead.
And he walks, and when he finally gets to her, he's like, "What are you gonna do to me? I'm just a kid." Yeah, and he puts her in the confinement card.
You have like monsters that usually get like a whole 30-minute episode to them, and he's just cutting them down in 1 second.
Yeah, it's just like I mean, again, I get plot convenience. It's just one of those things where it's so like it's just laughable because you rarely ever see that in Power Rangers where people are just instantly killing monsters left and right in like sequence.
You were saying it earlier too, like it ruins the stakes and the whole the gravity of the situation. Like everything becomes so less important and less suspenseful when like you can just one-shot things all day.
Yeah, it's like Doggy Kruger found like this like little holographic book, and he just cheat code, I can one-hit kill. Let me hit that button.
He had the Game Shark
go onto the ship.
He had the Game Shark on.
He plugged it into his sword. That's why he could one-hit kill.
Yeah, the Game Shark sword. He had the Game Shark sword.
The power of the Shadow Saber.
Well, and the funny thing is that moment, and I'm not meaning to harp on this moment, but what would have been much more better is that if she like threw out like 3 pages and 3 monsters appeared, and dog is doing his his little growl and he's getting ready to attack them, and she throws out 2 more, and so all of a sudden Kruger's surrounded by 5, and he might cut through them fast, but not one-hit kill them. But it would show how far he's come as a warrior, where he could take on 5 monsters, and he is that devoted to getting to the bad guy and saving his wife, where he's basically like, I'm in berserk mode. Nothing's going to stop me. I'll take all 5 of you on at once. That would have added a little something to
whole
it.
episodes, he just wipes them out in one swing. Like one iteration of that would be a nice solid like show of power. Like, I'm not to be messed with. I don't have time for 5 episodes. All 5 of you get wrecked.
And like, or like the episode when Doggy first morphs, they take the I think it was with the cryobots. I think they were called.
Yeah, the cryobots. The
crybot
battle.
He literally,
that was
he cuts through 100 of them rather quickly.
Yeah, and it even counts down how many are left. That's actually pretty cool.
Yeah, they actually have a countdown in the show of how many of like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14.
It becomes like Kill Bill.
Yeah, 100 down to 0. Yeah.
And real quick, guys, he may not be on the panel today.
Phantom Hooligan. Hello.
Yes.
Phantom.
You may not be on the panel today, but guess what?
What the hell are you talking about? Oh, my guidance counselor says that certain words perpetuate this sexist worldview that could trigger...
Quiet! From now on, you won't listen to your guidance counselor. You're going to listen to me. Is that understood?
Yes, Sensei.
I love how he said it. Quit!
Hope you're having a good... I hope you're having a good day today, Cash. And Cash, you know what we got to do? You know what we got to do, brother? We got to go into Broforce. We got to finish what we started, and we got to battle Satan and defeat Satan.
That's some intense stuff, Cash. Are you able to handle it, though?
Can Satan ever be defeated? I mean...
Well,
you'll be angels?
Let me give you guys some backstory real quick. Last night, Cash and I are playing Broforce. I'm not even keeping track of the time. Because we started at 7 o'clock my time. I think we ended around almost 2 o'clock this morning.
I've never even heard of Broforce.
We get to the boss fight with Satan. We're thinking it's over once we get through it. Nope. It keeps going. We're like, what? Are you kidding me? This keeps going?
That's the game where you're Rambo. Okay, gotcha.
Oh, come on.
Wow.
The game never ends, huh?
Yeah, pretty much. Now imagine a Power Rangers game like Broforce. I think that'd be fun.
Yeah,
I mean,
it'd be a brawl.
yeah.
It's perfect. Yeah, having that chibi sort of style, that's perfectly fine. I'd play it.
Yeah, the maps should look like old Sonic games.
And hell, you want to make it even better? Have a map level editor.
Oh man, I used to love those like map editors.
Ooh, yeah.
Like Warcraft and other games. I used to like be obsessed with that, making maps and things. Oh man,
I think that was a big thing. Was it? It was either Red Alert 2 or Age of Empires had it.
Yeah, one of those. I think Command and Conquer definitely had one because I definitely remember map editor on Command and Conquer. Oh man, so fun.
Yeah, you would just kind of do presets, and then it would randomly generate your map for you.
The best one was Warcraft 3 map editor because you could literally make custom campaigns with like text dialogue and different things. Like it was so intricate. Like you could literally make your own game.
I don't remember. I never did that with Warcraft 3.
Yeah, Warcraft 3 had a amazing map editor, like the best one I've ever seen. Like I said, like it had campaign editor where you can put like your own images and things. Like you could literally go like full force, make your own game with the models and things that the game provided. It was insane.
Dang.
Yeah, Blizzard used to be so sick.
Yeah.
How the mighty have fallen.
It's like that for many gaming companies now.
Yeah. Activision shut down so many studios, and so is EA.
You know, I mean,
they are the two biggest. They are the two biggest cancers of the industry. That and Konami.
Yeah. But yeah,
guys, I think now is a good time to start wrapping this up.
For sure.
And before we officially go offline, I do want to give everybody a chance to promote their channels. So, Patriot, since you haven't been here in a while, I'm going to let you start first.
Okay, thank you. My name is Smoking Patriot. Some of you, before I had to name change, might also know me as Common Sense America. I got a YouTube channel where I cover primarily anything fandom related of any kind. I also have a channel on Rumble. It's called Break Silence. It's either Break Silence or Break the Silence. Dear God. Okay, give me one quick second. Let me.
You don't know your own channel's name, bro?
Because I just created it. Okay.
Do you have the link for it too?
I love
it. I think so. I don't know how to share out the link from Rumble. It's called Break Silence. It's on Rumble, and it's got the it's got my logo here.
Are there any spaces?
Nope, just Break Silence, one word.
Okay.
It's got the same logo I have, where it's like I'm tearing off the duct tape. That's the logo for it, which I actually had custom made. If you ever have seen my original one, it's got, it's got my character, except he's kind of pointing. This one has me tearing off the duct tape because I'm breaking the silence. I'm done. I'm speaking my mind now. So that is actually going to be, I got to record videos for it, and eventually I'll do live streams on there. But that's going to be for anything non-fandom. That's going to be cultural, political, stuff like that. Stuff that, because let's just all admit, YouTube is getting much harder to say anything of any kind. Even in fandom, you can get hit for stuff now.
You can't speak about a certain beer company and their spokesperson right now.
Exactly. So that essentially
my bad
is
bringing
for
up earlier then.
Yeah, but that's what my Rumble channel is going to be for, is talking about the stuff that is, I know is not YouTube friendly, but needs to be said, because I'm kind of raw and unfiltered in what I say a lot of the time.
Same.
And on Rumble, you can even be more raw and unfiltered. And I enjoy talking about culture and politics and stuff, because it's just something I'm very passionate about, because I want to have a future. If I ever have kids, I want to see a future for them. And so I'm passionate about this stuff because I want my kids not to grow up in a dystopian future out of like the Terminator or something.
Or Blade Runner, where they basically are not allowed to speak, or 1984.
It's like the Hunger
exactly.
Games.
Yeah. So, but anyways, break silence. That's my Rumble channel. I don't have anything posted there yet. I haven't had a chance to work on a video yet, but hopefully this week I will put out something. It's going to be short, but it'll be something to kind of get the ball rolling there. I know, and my Mike's going to kill me for this. I had kept announcing I was going to have a video doing a comparison of Halo versus the Expanse in a ship-to-ship battle. And the more I dug into the schematics and techniques of each franchise, I came to realization the Expanse would get its ass kicked without even a fight.
Well, that would have been an interesting matchup.
It would have been, but it just came down to where the ships in Halo have too wide of a variety of an arsenal that the Expanse just cannot match up against. And their ships are far more heavily armored than the Expanse ships are. I could still do the video. I could still do the live stream if y'all want to do it and be a part of it. But just the research I was doing, I'm like, there's no way the Expanse wins this fight.
Yeah, the Pillar of Autumn.
I feel
Pillar of Autumn alone.
I never watched the Expanse, but it does look like a very interesting show. I've never watched it.
It's a lot of the same technologies: torpedoes, rail guns, like cannons or ballistic weapons,
and
a lot of the same
nukes,
all that stuff. But the biggest advantage that the UNSC has is they have FTL drive, and their ships have very thick armor.
Yes.
So those are the two advantages, which let's just admit is that the Expanse, they cannot leave the Sol system. They can't. So the UNSC could literally have a fleet leave the Sol system and then enter in the Sol system in another way and completely blindside the Expanse fleet. Right there. Get battle over at that point.
Yeah, because it's like the Belters and then it's like the
you have the Belters and then you have Mars and you have Earth, and they're all fighting amongst each other in this massive war. UNSC comes in and mops up whatever's left over.
Yep.
They're not a unified front. So I could still do the live stream if you all want me to, but based on everything I looked at, the Expanse loses hands down. A lot of cool tech and ship designs.
That's up to you. That's up to you.
So I might do that, but I did propose something to Pacific, which I need to set up. Are the Federation morons? And I'm going to say this with one word: cloaking technology. I'm just going to leave it at that. So I do need to get the live stream eventually set up at some point, but
because
little
it's
teaser.
Like Mass Effect with the Normandy and the cloaking tech.
If you can dodge a wrench, you can dodge a ball. What?
Oh boy.
Patches a Houlihan. What a guy.
Anyways.
Yeah, it's essentially the later. It's just like trying to try to reflect like radar energy or LADAR in space, or basically you got to make sure you can't be detectable. You can't give off any heat signature in the Mass Effect universe, which is why the Normandy can sink its heat in. So,
and it's a much smaller starship. It's a much smaller starship than the Enterprise.
Yeah,
so
because again, you can put all the stuff you can do, all of its array of weaponry, even cyber warfare suite. It's best effective on frigates, and especially its Thanix cannon. It's all effective only really on a frigate.
Yeah, and unless you have the upgrades from the second game.
Yeah.
Which I could get into that whole thing because I actually did a lot of research on that whole stuff too. But that's for another. Trust me, I got so many stream ideas in my head. I just don't have the time.
Yeah, but if it's anything Mass Effect, I'll bring me on.
I want to talk about Mass Effect. I would love to talk about Mass Effect.
Oh, okay.
The whole universe on a stream. That would be so fun. I know that so much.
Yeah,
Mike, games so much.
Mike, you like the Mass Effect universe?
Yes, I do. I don't have as much knowledge as you guys because I usually just go into the games and play it. And...
I have more knowledge than anything.
Yeah,
that's my number one.
I actually read all the appendices for everything.
Me too.
Like ships, weapons, creatures. I've
had a playthrough where I sat there and listened to that narrator because they give you a narrator in the game that'll read all the codexes.
Yeah, the codexes.
All the codexes. I have listened to all of them. I love
exactly. I love to listen to them even when I'm working out.
God.
It's
yeah,
so
like
fun.
something else. oh, the Krogan, and then the Canard,
Quarians, the Geth.
yeah, the Quarians, the Krogan have 6 hearts and 5. Like, oh my God, there's so much interesting shit.
Yep. And if you read the codexes, you understand why the Krogan will say you got a pair of quads on.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There's a literal
Got a
reason
quad.
why
Yeah,
they
and when
say
they,
that.
the victory
He's
teabag is
got
twice
4
the
hearts.
thing.
Because they got 4 hearts and shit. 4. They got like 4 of every liver or 4 of every organ or something. It's crazy.
They have it's redundant. So if you have like 2 kidneys, if a human has 2 kidneys, they have 4. We have 2 lungs,
Quad.
they have 4. 2 heart, So that's what say quads.
Shepard's got a quad.
If
Yeah, give it a quad. Sorry,
which makes it
sorry,
funnier
sorry,
in Mass
sorry,
Effect 3.
Sorry, my father was a Krogan.
Hell yeah, dude.
Yeah,
It just makes that reference in Mass Effect 3 with
Krogans are my favorite race. What's up?
Personally, I think I like the Turians the most.
Oh, Turians are a close second because I'm very interested to see if they'll ever do the first contact war in a game when the humans met the Turians for the first time. That would be so sick.
I think there's a comic strip that talks about. Like it follows the Elusive Man during the first contact war and how he formed Cerberus.
Yeah, because he was around in the shadows, protecting humanity, as he would say.
Yeah.
No, I think he was very much involved with the first contact war. He was very much involved with it, I think.
Oh, definitely. Because for humanity, he wanted us to get our hands on the Mass Effect relays and their technology and all that. Because he wanted to go beyond the solar system.
Yeah, it's a high risk mission, and that's an amazing thing how humanity found everything. But but still, overall, yeah, that's a topic we all need to go into all
Dude,
together.
I could talk about that for hours, man. Mass Effect, I love it. I'd be so down for a Mass Effect stream, dude.
Yeah, give me some time. I think I'd try to cook that up myself.
Get some like stills or some screenshots on there and money,
Yep.
dude.
Definitely.
Anything else coming up for you, Patriot?
No, just video coming out hopefully this week on my Rumble channel. Which Mike, I don't know if you have a Rumble channel, but I'd advise having a Rumble channel.
You haven't seen what's been popping up in the chat every now and then? The link to my Rumble
I
channel?
don't always open up the chat.
You just got a new follower, bro.
Break silence.
There we go. All right, now I see it now. I see it. There we go. Okay.
I'll have to make a Rumble.
Man.
Everybody talks about Rumble. I need to get on
Rumble is growing considerably. A lot of the channels that I follow, they are creating alternate Rumble accounts, and sometimes if they are if they're banned on YouTube, they'll do only Rumble or they'll do Rumble streams, or they'll have Rumble only content. So they'll cut the YouTube feed but keep streaming on Rumble. If they're starting to get into content that they're like, I don't know if we can continue about this on YouTube, they'll keep the stream going on Rumble, but they'll cut the YouTube stream.
Yep.
Yeah, exactly. And that's what I'm worried about. Because I'm trying to do the same. I'm trying to get my viewership numbers up and get my subscriber numbers up so I can get my channel mirrored on something like Odyssey. So if anything goes wrong, I have that as a backup.
Yeah.
And all the damn over 7 year over the over like 8 year like 9 years of content I have on this on my channel just to be uploaded and safe on another platform. That's what I'm trying to do.
Right.
Well,
but
I've got to back up on both Rumble and Odyssey. So if anything were to happen, at least I still have that original content.
Yeah,
gotcha.
Exactly.
There you go. So, but yeah, so I'm gonna be working on that. I'll find a time for that Star Trek stream. Probably won't be this week, so it might be this coming week. It might be the following week. I've got to see. And then I got the Rumble video coming out within the next week, hopefully. So that's what I got going on.
All right, Jet, your turn.
All right. Well, for the past several months, throughout the start, ever since like the near start of the year, since February, I've been playing through the Mass Effect series of the Legendary Edition, and I just completed the entirety of the main story for all three games. And now I'm just. And yesterday I did part one. I did the Citadel DLC. I mean, I did the main part of it. And I'm just gonna do all the character bits and stuff after that. But afterward, I'm not sure if I'm not sure what kind of Let's Play I'm gonna do next. But I also want to do like discussion live streams. Like I want to do thing about the history and what we like about lightsabers from Star Wars. And also, I probably want to eventually try to do some sort of like retrospectives on some of my favorite seasons of Power Rangers too, at some point. But I'm not sure what. And also, I'm trying to like do other stuff. Like I said, since I'm a writer, I'm trying to just trying to do writing projects, and I have occasionally shared what I've been writing on stream from time to time, but I'm not sure if I'm really going to be doing much in terms of content. But I will happily come on and be on a panel for others' live streams. So if anyone's interested in a certain topic, and if I think I actually have any knowledge of it, just let me know and I'll come on. Just DM me or send me an email link.
All right. And to answer your question, Cash, I do believe that you have to have 25 followers over on Rumble before you can actually stream live for free. Otherwise, you got to pay to stream.
Yeah, which is why I'm only going to be putting out videos for the time being, kind of like 5-10 minute long videos at most. But just keep putting out the videos until I can stream eventually at some point. Hopefully I can get it up there. We'll see. Who knows?
I'll help you.
I know you will, brother, and I always appreciate it.
Nice. All right. Anything else coming up for you, Jet?
No, that's about it. I think I'm probably gonna do the second half of the Citadel DLC, which is the last thing I'm doing for my Mass Effect playthrough. But after that, I'm not sure what I'm gonna do after that. And I think then again I might just take a hiatus and try to focus on my writing. That's all.
You're not gonna finish the game? Don't you have like Priority Earth and stuff still to do?
No, I've already completed the main story. I'm just doing the Citadel DLC as the last part. It's just an extra thing.
Okay.
Just like I did with the Arrival DLC, I did it after the main campaign was done.
Gotcha.
And Apion, what do you have coming up?
After 10,000 years, I'm free. Make my monsters grow. I just have more like video game streams every week. Me and my buddy Rocco the Brave do our Saturday Blender Live, where we talk about random like pop culture things. But other than that, video game streams and whatnot. Maybe I'll pop out on some more channels and panels and stuff. That's
nice,
it.
Very nice.
Nice.
Yeah.
Now, as far as Pacific Forum 4 is concerned, there will be a Wednesday edition of Pacific Forum 4 Pop Talk at 6 p.m. Eastern on Wednesday, which, hopefully, as long as things are going well with his move, Baron will be back, and also Cash Money. And then on Thursday, I will be on Release McCracken, the channel of one YouTube troll, Phil McCracken. You all know him. You all love him. He likes his Buster Bars. He likes to give Cash Money a hard time. But I will be over on his channel. And I believe we'll be talking to Nick and Coach from Echo Base Network. Of course, I won't be the only person over there on Phil's channel. Cash will also be there. And then Saturday, I will be on Lord Crit's channel, Everest Productions. I'll go ahead and put the link to Crit's channel in there too. And we will actually be doing something Alita Battle Angel related.
Oh,
nice.
And
great movie.
There's also a good potential that Cash and I, if we don't do it on live stream, we will probably do another live stream playing a game over on Hooligans. I don't know when. That's up to Cash. But I could see us going back to doing some more Bro Force Pacific 414 is now Pacific 414, and we got Bro Money 007. We got
It's
the
never
Smoking
over.
Patriot Bro, Just Marks
Never.
Bro, Avion Bro, Bro Force.
It's never
I love
over.
doing that. I love doing
Never
that.
over. They drew first blood.
Bro Force.
Hell yeah, dude. Great Rambo impression.
That game is a lot of fun, especially if you could get 4 players to play it.
Is it free? How much is it?
It's $15 on Steam right now.
That's not bad.
So that's not too
would.
bad.
Yeah, it set you back how much?
It's only $15.
Okay. But I wish I had Steam, but I wish I had a really good PC to play games on Steam for. But can't. Just got a normal basic PC.
I don't, Phantom, but I'm thinking about downloading it for $15. I might download that game. I do have Steam. Steam.
Very nice. Very nice. But yeah,
Very nice.
Very
as
nice.
far
How
as-
much? I like you peoples.
As far as any gaming streams for this week, I will, just see how the week's going and try to schedule a gaming stream or two in place. I will go back to playing Jedi Survivor, even with its problems. My goal is to finish it. Gotham Knights had so many problems, even after buying it on discount. Even after 40 gigabyte update, it still had problems, but I still completed it.
That game
And
is
of course,
ass.
I'm going to go back to playing Scars Above. It'll actually be part 4 of that gameplay. I'm actually getting a little further in that game.
You can do it.
It's a pain in certain parts, but I'm doing this because it's fighting that Commander Robinson, when he's been mutated into an alien. Apion, if you had told me that it was going to be such a pain in the ass, I would have looked at you and went, yeah, right. But I know from playing it myself, fighting that boss is a pain in the ass. But I was able to beat him once I developed a pattern and a strategy on how I was going to do it.
Are you talking about Alpha? That one boss?
No,
God,
not the Alpha. It's Commander Robinson. When Kate goes up to him, he turns around and his right side of his face is disfigured.
That's right. When they get more like Resident Evil tyrant bosses.
Yeah.
Like the people. All right, yeah. That's a good game, though. I enjoyed Scars Above. I was happy with it.
And Cash is letting everybody know that if you're interested in Broforce, you can get it on CD keys for $5.
Really? That's cheap.
That is cheap.
CD keys.
So that's what's going to be going on the channel. I do want to thank you, Jet Sparks, for being here today. I want to thank Apion for being here. I want to thank the Smoking Patriot. I also want to thank Ryan from Legion Talk, who is currently talking about Picard Season 3, Episode 1. And, of course, we had Jason Fox from 540 Studios here as well. Unfortunately, he had some PC issues that he was trying to resolve, and trust me, I understand. I think we all understand when we have PC issues, it makes it very hard to not only do a live stream if you're gaming, but also be part of a live stream on a panel. So, Jason, you got an open invitation. Everybody has an open invitation to return. And I want to thank everybody who was here. I want to thank Cash of the Phantom Hooligans. Bro money! And of course, as I scroll up here, because I didn't star everybody, but I also want to thank Shannon Ashley for being here. Thank you, Shannon. It's nice seeing you. And it was also nice to see DJ Ronnie G. Thank you, DJ Ronnie G. And as I scroll up here, Kitty Bear. Thank you, Kitty Bear.
Broforce is on sale for $3 right now. I'm gonna buy that shit.
$3, bro.
What?
sorry.
$3.
I know.
off.
Cash was probably getting annoyed with me last night when I kept going, Paul, bro, Trip, bro, everybody, bro. But I was just having fun. When you come by the channel, if I'm playing a game, you'll know I'm having fun by how goofy and silly and stupid I start acting.
Hell yeah.
But if you want something more serious, just watch a recap of a Cub game, and you'll hear me.
Oh yeah.
And speaking of that, even if it goes into Pop Talk, I will be. I'm gonna admit to you guys right now. Next Sunday, there is a free game, so I'll be doing Pop Talk and also looking over at the game to see what's going on. And if you hear the tone of my voice change, it's not good. or it could be where my voice is all peppy and full of energy. Then it's all good. But I also want to thank Lorenzo Sleestack for being here. Thank you, Lorenzo. And of course, this is the first time I actually saw Derpy, but thank you, Derpy, for stopping by and greatly appreciate it. Like seeing new faces around here. Hopefully you like what you saw and you subscribe to everybody who was on the panel. And let's see, I don't want to forget anybody. We also had Brandon Looney Tunes Fan 2000. Good to see you, Brandon. And unless I've missed anyone, that should be everybody who had stopped by. So thank you all again. Once again, I appreciate everybody's support of the channel. We all grow together, like Orville Nation says. And until Wednesday, this has been Mike for PACIFIC414 Pop Talk. Remember, I'm not only I'm screwing up my own outro already. All right. I'm not just a baseball guy. I'm an all-around guy. Have a good one, everyone.
And may the power protect you always.
Gentlemen,
go
it's Morphin' time.
Rangers.